Morning, afternoon, guys, and welcome to the stream. We got a good one going for you today. We got the bronze pitchers update. We're going to do the starting and relief pitchers. We're going to finally try to close out all those collection missions on the decimals. We got some tournaments going on too. So we'll check out on those and see how they're going. As usual, we're going to start with the Unicorns and the Bruins and see what they get and see if maybe they can try to get something started here. Still wallowing away down in the stone level. But the Unicorns are having a decent season this year right now, 68 and 47, so 21 games over 500, and this comes after a 5-game losing streak. So they were 68 and 42 at some point. So not a great losing streak there, but trying to turn around and get it going again. So here on the 7th of August, they just won 6-1 against the Chantilly Lice. I like that team name. That's kind of funny. The Unicorns currently are sporting the same lineup they did yesterday with Brett Gardner, David Fletcher, Chris Bryant. Pete Alonso got back to his home run hitting ways this season. Jock Peterson playing much better than he did last year. So a lot of guys that we expected to perform last year are performing just a little bit better this year. Even Gary Sanchez has his batting average up above 250. So working out well there. Big Bill Lee leading the pitching staff with a 288 earned run average. We added Aaron Nola to the pitching staff yesterday. Not a great start for him. 763 earned run average through 6 appearances out of the bullpen. Just 15 innings pitched so far, though, so he could turn that around. The team is now third in runs against, so they moved up just a little bit in runs against, dropped just a little bit in runs scored down to 11th. I think they were 7th or 8th yesterday. They were 5th or 6th in runs against. But it's working out well in their central division for them right now. They did have, let's see if the All-Stars are still on here. They did have 4 All-Stars. Chris Bryant, Gary Sanchez, Edwin Diaz, and of course Big Bill Lee all went to the All-Star game, getting them some perfect points yesterday. And let's see, they turned 5 double plays against the Alaska Ravens, so that's going to give them a pack to open today. It's just the one, so nothing major, not expecting anything great. We want to save the good luck for later on, but if they get something I can sell, then maybe we'll open more packs on Monday with this team. And as expected, nothing out of the one pack for the Unicorns. They just can't buy any pack luck right now outside of Big Bill Lee. So nothing really doing on packs for them. We're going to go ahead and move on to the Bruins. But the Unicorns are going to be in the playoffs this weekend, it looks like. So maybe getting moved up to the iron level next year. We shall see. I hope everybody's having a good Friday. It's beautiful weather out here. I've got the window cracked. And just really, really nice out. We had some big thunderstorms the other night. So we had to clean the pool yesterday. The Bruins are currently 52 and 63. They're in second place in their division, though, just 5 games behind. If they can add one good player, then it might be a way for them to get involved in the playoff race here in their central division. Does not look like a very competitive division, and any kind of help for the Bruins would be welcome to try to get them started on the road towards relevance. I don't really have anybody to add. All my silvers on this team are pitchers. We do have Asdrubal Cabrera, but we determined yesterday we were going to go with Vlad Guerrero and Gio Urshela based on defenses. And so that's what we're going with. And so Asdrubal just wasn't a big enough upgrade over those guys to plug them in. As far as the team, same batting order as yesterday. Vlad Guerrero, batty. Guerrero's playing really well out of the leadoff spot. Tyler O'Neill with 31 home runs out of the number 4 spot. This is a big offense league. They're 6th, 10th in runs against. The pitching staff, not great. Brent Suter continues to be one of the better bronze pitchers in the game. That combination of stuff and movement on that Brent Suter card are really, really good and work out really, really well. Even moving up to higher levels. We'll see about higher levels. The Bruins aren't going to get there anytime soon, so they have enough for one pack. I do not know who their all-stars were. They had two, Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Yordan Alvarez, so two infielders were all-stars for them. And they got just enough for one pack today. We'll go ahead and see what we get out of that. And then we will move on to our bronze tournament pitchers. Craig Reynolds, pretty useful iron pitcher. Lave Cross, one of those unsung heroes. That card has pretty good sell value. But other than that, they get nothing. They get no help out of their one pack, and it's probably going to be a while before the Bruins and the Unicorns can start worrying about competing for anything realistically. So we will move straight on to the decimals. We'll have 38 packs to open today at the end. We'll see how that goes. Maybe more depending on what we get. I was really hoping that more people would sign up for this historical double round robin, but that probably won't go till tonight, maybe even tomorrow. Some of them take a while to fill up. You can see I'm running silver tournaments now, trying to get some more data up for next week's stream. We'll check in on the silver team real quick. And then we'll check in on the bronze team, who was up 3-2 in the second round the last I checked. Hey, Coach, how you doing today? Decimals silver tournament team won round 1 4-2. Do not have a game scheduled yet. Looks like there's a couple series that went the full distance. There's one that's at 3-3, two they're at 3-3. So there's 3 series still going on, 4 still going on. The Decimals will face the winner of, so our opponent went to 7 games, so that's nice. We'll get to pitch our number 2. Again, the silver team, I haven't really looked at it in a couple weeks. I've been just throwing the team out there, so I'm not sure what kind of team we're throwing out there. But the bronze team was in round 2. And they're still showing they're playing, so they may have won round 2. They were up 3-2 with Greinke going in game 6 of the second round, and it looks like they won game 6. Craig Stammen got the win as they await their next opponent for the next round. Sorry, it was Suter that pitched this game for us, so they get to reset just a little bit, checking out where the pitching staff's looking like. Some tired arms here. It's going to be Stripling pitching the first game. So 2, Bird will pitch after that. Maybe Greinke. Greinke's at 42. Bird's at 68. It's going to be tomorrow. We're just going to leave it like that. Consider moving Greinke up to 3. So you may notice, we'll talk about the pitchers here in a minute, and then we'll come back to this team and talk about them for a little bit. So the main team, you saw what we added yesterday, and it was a fun stream. We got a lot of good stuff yesterday to add to this team, and they are playing well. The new additions are good. The Decimals, the Senators are still just the team to beat in this division. We've actually lost 2 games on them overnight. Gained a couple games on Atlanta, which is nice. We just played them, and we just beat them 8-7. So we lost to them the day before. And then we beat them 8-7 today. So the Decimals right now are tied for, first and second wild card right now. Or, well, I guess their first wild card. There's 3 teams tied for the 2 wild card positions, with a team a half a game behind, and then a bunch of teams clustered behind us. So hopefully we'll kick it into high gear here and take off on that wild card. I think the division's out of reach at this point. We do have 12 games left against Washington. We've got a series coming up now, starting today against Washington. So this is a big one. This one, if we can sweep them in this series, then maybe the division comes back into play. But if we only win 2, then we're probably talking about we have to stretch out for that wild card. So we'll see how these 3 games go. It'll probably be over by the time we finish the stream today. Maybe we'll get to watch a game. I don't know. So Speaker leading off now. His average has dropped to 307. Not batting second. Musial is working out pretty well for us, guys. 363 with 6 home runs in just 24 games. We're pretty happy with the production we're getting out of Stan right now. Bagwell has dropped to 280 and 17 home runs this year. Kiner's got 21 home runs. Really looking for an upgrade at DH or at really at third base and shortstop between Tulowitzki and Arenado today. Let me clean up the screen for you just a little bit. And then Ichiro batting ninth with 303 batting average. My scrambled brain continues to be scrambled. Tris has 50 stolen bases. Ichiro at 41. Knapp at 30. The team is currently 7th in the league in runs scored and 3rd in runs against. So there's a lot of good offensive teams in this league. They have moved up. I think they were 8th or 9th yesterday, but there's a lot of good offense in this league, and it's pretty competitive once you get up here to silver. So I don't even know if Musial and Maddox and Carlton are going to be enough to get us over the top, but we'll see. For the rotation, Maddox is struggled his first 2 appearances, but been pretty good since then. We're looking to see that ERA keep coming down. Koufax continues to be a horse. Randy Johnson is pretty awesome. Steve Carlton with a really good start to his Bruins career, 3-0 in his first 4 games with a nice 2.42 earned run average. Garrett Cole remains our lone live starter at 11-6 with a 3.76 earned run average. We did move Scherzer to the setup role because we had Eddie Plank there, and man, was he struggling this year. His earned run average as recently as yesterday, his earned run average is all the way up to 6.8. He's allowed multiple runs in 3 straight appearances right now. So he is cold right now. Let's see. He's at 4% exhausted. They're pitching him a lot. I think we're going to go in real quick and tell them to use him less often. And then we'll swap Oswalt to normal usage and see if that helps Eddie Plank get some rest. I think what happened with Eddie Plank, I'm going to be totally honest, is when I set the team up yesterday, I only had 1 setup pitcher, and it was Eddie Plank. So I think he ended up pitching a lot because you can see he's already up to 49 innings, which is the most innings other than Scherzer, who was a starter, out of the bullpen. So Eddie was getting pitched a lot. I think he's worn down a bit. We're going to try to give him a little bit of a rest, see if we can get him back on track, because I do like that card. I think it's a pretty good card, especially for a lower rated diamond at just 91. But we'll head back to the start screen. We're going to come back to the decimals in a little bit. Right now, we're going to hit the bronze pitchers, and we'll go through these, and then we'll open some packs, and then see where we go from there. Kind of depends on you guys and what we decide to do. So this week's top pitchers. So 2 weeks ago, we did the pitchers for the bronze tournament. I haven't changed any calculations like I did for the hitters. I didn't. So similar kind of calculations. There's been some changes, but I think overall the pitching stuff was pretty good a couple weeks ago. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Again, this is just for fun. You don't necessarily have to I don't expect you to base your teams around this. And if you have disagreements with me, that's totally cool. I totally agree. Nothing I do is perfect. And so this is really just for fun. And I hope you guys enjoy the lists. Starting with our relief pitchers for this week from the bronze tournaments. We're up to 3,100 total relief pitching performances right now. So it's a lot of data to go through, and it wears me out. So dropping from number 5 to number 10 is 1969 one-hit wonder John Gilnar. He's up to 116 appearances right now. Really not a lot of top end from this guy, but 31% in the top 25%, just a 12.9% dud percentage. So he would be higher if he had 2 or 3 more top 100 performances, but most of his stuff is kind of right in the middle. So he's a really steady guy. He's a guy who's gonna do what you need him to do, but not really be that guy who takes over your bullpen for an entire tournament and just leads your team to victory. But he's a guy that you can't go wrong having, in your middle relief. Pretty good ratings across the board on his pitching stuff, but just 2 pitches. One thing about him as a bullpen guy is he does have a little bit higher stamina than most of the other relief pitchers out there, with 24. So you can use him in a little bit more of maybe a long relief emergency starting pitcher thing and get that good stuff and movement and control that you don't necessarily get out of a starting pitcher who's got higher stamina and kind of lower stuff. So he's useful as a long relief guy, I think, is where you can get the most use out of him. Coming at number 9, previously unranked, Jake Diekman. I like this card a lot. Not great control. So that stuff is, I'm pretty sure, the highest stuff you're going to see out of a bronze pitcher. 121 is kind of ludicrous at this level. The movement's pretty good. Control leaves a little bit to be desired. And so that leads to a higher dud percentage, a dud percentage of 25%. But when he's pitching well, he's as good as any pitcher out there. I currently use him as my closer on my bronze team. He's not getting used as much as some of the other guys, but he's got 6 top 100s out of his 44 appearances. And almost 40, like just above 43% of his appearances are in the top 25, which I'm pretty sure is either second or third highest on this list. Good at hold runners, but he's got 2 killer pitches, just not a lot of control. So he can get into trouble with walks. And if he's struggling with his control, or if you have a catcher behind the plate that isn't helpful to your pitchers, then Jake Diekman's a guy who may not work out for you. But overall, I think it's a pretty good card. And he settled in at number 9 this week. Number 8, dropping from number 6, with 103 appearances. This is a guy who's getting used a little bit more steady across the board. Really good control, so he's kind of the opposite of Diekman, where his stuff and his movement's a little bit lower, but he's got good control, so he's going to keep himself out of trouble. And he's got those 3 pitches, so the 3 pitches just kind of elevate him above Diekman and help him avoid that dud percentage. Just over 30% on the top 25 percentage, and a dud percentage of just 15.5%. So he's getting it done out there as much as anybody else. Just not a lot. Again, not a guy who's going to take over your bullpen and be necessarily the stud for you in any of these tournaments. With just 2 top 100 appearances, we're going to see some guys that have more top 100 appearances on this list. So I like steady guys. I like guys who don't lose games for you out of my bullpen. I don't necessarily have to have that guy who's going to go out there and put up a .43 earned run average, or like I try to stay away from the guys who are like really high or really low. The guys who are right in the middle, who are going to just kind of hold steady and hold on to the games for you, the guys I like in my bullpen. So Stammen's one of those guys for sure. Number 7 is live Sergio Romo. A little bit more top end here with 4 top 100 performances, 4 in the top 50 actually. All 4 of those are in the top 50, which out of 3,100 appearances, that's pretty good. 38.6% top 25 percentage and just a 17.1% dud percentage. Ratings are similar, maybe a little bit higher on stuff, less movement than that Stammen card. Again, a guy with 3 pitches, pretty comparable card to Craig Stammen. They're almost identical in all honesty, and so they're pretty much working out almost identically. The difference is Romo throws a changeup instead of a knuckle curve, and I think that the changeups are pretty overpowered in this game from what I can tell. So Romo's a guy that's coming in at number 7 this week. He did drop from number 4 though. Coming in at number 6, previously number 1, dropping all the way down to 6, Yusmeiro Petit. 111 appearances now, 5 top 100s. 42.3% top 25 percentage and a 17.1% dud percentage. The reason he dropped is because his dud percentage almost doubled. So from last time, he was at like a 9% last time, and so he had a rough couple weeks. Still some good top end here, pretty good ratings across the board. That nasty changeup in 4 pitches. This is one of those guys who you can put out there, and if he's good, he's going to be the best pitcher in your bullpen and maybe the best pitcher in the tournament. But he also has a lot of, some bad stuff going on there as well. So he's one of those guys that's high or low. And so he just dropped from number 1 to number 6 because the other guys performed better over the last 2 weeks. Coming at number 5, previously unranked. Just 40 appearances, a little bit small sample size here. But it's Wander Suero, who has a little bit higher stuff but lower control than Petit. And just 3 pitches, but a good curveball. He's got a really nasty curveball, and his top 25 percentage right now is 45% with a dud percentage of just 15%. So small sample size. I think going forward, Petit is probably more sustainable, and I expect Petit to move back up. But for the last couple of weeks, for whatever reason, Suero's been performing a little bit better. And again, it's one of those things where 2 or 3 bad performances by Suero would knock him way down pretty fast. So I try to stay away from the small sample size, but 40 is a pretty decent. It's not a real small sample size. So at this point, he's working out pretty well. And he does have 2. So his cutter and his curveball are both really high rated pitches. So having 2 really, really awesome pitches, even with that mediocre changeup, is working out for Suero right now. Coming at number 4, dropping from number 2, is a guy that I really like. Again, only 39 appearances for this guy, but just a 7.7 dud percentage. He dropped because his top 25 percentage went down just a little bit, but still 4 out of his 39 appearances are in the top 100. High-end stuff, not as high as Diekman, but 3 really awesome pitches, a fastball, slider, and changeup that he can use in any situation and whenever you need him to, and good defense for you as well. From the pitcher position. This is a card that I got last week, and I've been really happy to be able to put him out there. Really solid card. The reason he dropped again is just it's more small sample size. Not a lot of people are using him for some reason, even though it's working out really well for the people who are. And not a ton of top end. He's another one of those guys that if he's not really good, then he's going to drop right outside of that top 25 for you with just 28.2% in the top 25%. Going at number 3, previously number 8, moving all the way up, Hansel Robles, 36 appearances, 47.2% of them in the top 25%, 5 in the top 100, and just an 11% dud percentage. So this one came down to really just the steadiness up top. So his movement's a little bit higher, his control's a little bit higher, even though his stuff's not quite as top end as the Michael Gibbons card. He's getting the better results more often. So he's getting really good results more often than you're seeing out of the Michael Gibbons or the other cards up here. And so Robles is working out really well for a lot of people. Just an 11% dud percentage, so that's really good. And almost 50% top 25 percentage is kind of ridiculous at this point. So he's got 2 really good pitches. The changeup drops off a little bit. It's not a third killer pitch, but he's working out well for people right now. Coming in at number 2, really small sample size here, but the catch here is that he's got a 42.9% top 25 percentage and not a single dud yet. Again, this week, Paul Assenmacher has moved up to number 2, previously number 7. This is a 64 rated card, which I think it kind of gets out of people's viewpoints. Again, small sample size, but he continues to perform well, and specifically for me, so I watch him. I've had him plugged in for a while because I'm like, if he's on the list and I have him, I have to put him on the team, right? I can't be like, here's a list, I'm going to go a totally different way. So I put him on my team, and he's worked out really well for me. Not a lot of people using him. And so with a movement that's pretty low, but he's got good stuff and good control and 3 pretty good pitches, he's working out really well. I think that stuff and that control really kind of helps him be better than some of the other cards that are a little bit more steady. Stuff and control, the algorithms in the game this year are really favoring guys like this Paul Assenmacher, where, yeah, he's going to let up home runs, so maybe not your high leverage guy, but if you need a guy to get you through the 6th and 7th inning, he's got a 16 stamina, so he might be able to get you 2 innings maybe. Paul Assenmacher is the guy. Again, he's just has not had a bad performance yet, and so I put him up here at number 2. Coming in number 1, 59 appearances, 4 of them in the top 100, almost 50% of them in the top 25%, and just a 10.2 dud percentage. Oliver Perez moves up from number 3 to number 1. Looks a little similar to the Assenmacher card, but his individual pitch ratings are higher, and his stuff and control are just a little bit higher, and the movement's a little. So all 5 of his pitches, all 5 of his ratings here are just a little bit higher than the Assenmacher card. It's working out really well. So 4 out of his 60 appearances are in the top 100 out of over 3,100. So in almost 50% of his appearances are in the top 25%. Oliver Perez is the guy right now. I like that slider, that pitch that's really kind of lights out to go along with really high stuff and good control. And he's working out pretty well for the people that are using him. Let's talk real quick about some guys who didn't quite make the cut. So guys like Kevin Ginkel, Ryan Stanek, Dylan Cease is both starter and a reliever. People are using him. Sam Selman's a guy who almost made the list. He's at 26% versus 18%. Phil Maton's a guy who almost made the list. And then a guy to keep your eye out on for really both relief pitching and starting pitching is Dinelson Lamet. He's got a 23% top 25 percentage, just a 7% dud percentage, but really low sample size on that, and he's got a pretty low sample size on the starting side too, but he's pitching well. From what I've seen, almost 50% of his starts have been top 25%. So those are the guys who just missed the list, and some of them could definitely make the list next time. But for now, this is my top 10 relief pitchers. Moving on to the starting pitchers, we'll get through these and then we'll get to the packs. Coming in number 10, not rated previously, is Sean Newcomb. This is a really small sample size, and this is something I try to avoid. Is this dude's only got 11 appearances, but just an 18.2 dud percentage, and I like to use my bottom spot for cards that are really interesting to me, and I really like this Sean Newcomb card. He's got good stuff. Decent movement and control, but 4 pretty good pitches there for a 67 rated card. That's 4 pitches that are like not a single one of them is below average. So I like starters with 4 or more pitches, and he's a guy that's performing well against pretty small sample size. Not a lot of people using him. I don't know what to expect from it going forward. But in my waste spot at number 10 is Sean Newcomb. I might throw him into my rotation just to see what happens. Coming in at number 9, 1983, previously unranked, Neil Heaton. He was on the list 2 weeks ago, dropped off of it, but came back on. 156 appearances, so people like using him. 4 top 100s, 37% in the top 25%, and then 18 dud percentage. Decent stuff, good movement, really good control. So he's got control that is above and beyond that of Sean Newcomb, although his individual pitch ratings are lower than Newcomb's. But control is big, especially in these bronze tournaments. I think guys with good control can do a really good job of shutting down any hitters in these bronze tournaments. So those are the guys you're looking out for. Neil Heaton at number 9. Number 8, moving up from number 9, the 2001 hit wonder Brian Ricard. 36 appearances now for him. Just an 11.1% dud percentage, just under 20% top 25%. This is not your ace, but this is a guy who's going to get it done in every tournament. So again, very, very, very similar to the Neil Heaton card with good control, a little bit higher control, a little bit lower stuff. And then his individual pitches, not quite the top end, but not quite the low end of that Neil Heaton either. So Ricard just slightly better right now. But either one of these guys, good 4 or 5 pitch, number 4, number 5 starter for you, maybe even a long bullpen or a long relief guy out of the bullpen for you. Coming in at number 7, Doug Bird, 1981 snapshot. 92 appearances, 33.7% in the top 25, and just a 13% dud. So only 3 pitches on this guy, but one of them is nasty, that changeup. And he's got good stuff, good movement, really, really outstanding control here for Doug Bird. He's another guy that stays away from letting up home runs and does not walk people to get himself into trouble. Stamina is a little bit lower, but he can hold runners, so even when runners get on base, you're not gonna have the guys that are always stealing off of him. So Doug Bird's working out. Dropped from number 4 though, so we'll get to see some new guys in the top 5. Coming in at number 6, Ryan Yarbrough remains at number 6. This is a card that's just been smooth and steady. He does have 12 top 100 appearances. That's kind of a function of everybody using him. Almost 300 out of the 4,366 total starting pitching performances I've seen have been Ryan Yarbrough, but he's a steady guy. Only less than 15% dud percentage, over 33%, so a third of his starts or a third of his tournaments have been pretty good, above the top 25%. Some top end there, 8 top 50s is still, it's still pretty impressive that 10% of the top 100 pitching performances are Ryan Yarbrough. He's just a little bit higher dud percentage and a little bit lower top 25 percentage than some of the other guys on the list. And I think this is, he's a really great 2, 3, 4 starter, not necessarily bad enough to be a number 5, but not necessarily the guy who's going to take over a tournament and really be your ace that you're going to say, hey, if I have one pitcher that I want out there, it's Ryan Yarbrough. But he's going to win games for you, and he's been good throughout all of these tournaments. Number 5, dropping from number 3, card I don't have, Yonny Chirinos. 126 appearances, 4 top 100s. A little bit higher top 25 percentage than Yarbrough, which puts him above him, but a pretty high dud percentage too at 20.6, which keeps him from being higher on the list. He was 3 last time. His dud percentage came up just a little. He does only have 3 pitches, but his slider is better than anything that Yarbrough has. His control is pretty comparable, and his stuff is just a little bit higher, though he has less movement. I think what's setting Chirinos apart from Yarbrough for the top end right now is just that his individual pitches are just a little bit more effective than any single individual pitch that Yarbrough has, and that's why Chirinos is higher. Again, Chirinos isn't necessarily your ace, but there are very few aces at the bronze level, and so he's a guy that you can happily slot in at number 2 or number 3. It's one of 2 bronze live cards that I do not have in my collection yet on my packs only teams. Coming number 4, another card I don't have is Vic Aldridge. Everybody else has him apparently. 32.5% top 25 percentage. His dud percentage came up just a little bit this time, but he moved up from number 7 to number 4 just because he keeps being smooth and steady. 7 top 100 performances for him. High-end stuff and goes along with pretty good control. And then 3 really good pitches, including an awesome curveball. And that one pitch, I think, is setting him apart. He's also got incredible stamina at 90, which is higher than anybody else we've seen on this list so far. You don't get a lot of 90 stamina guys out of the bronze pitchers. So Aldridge comes in at number 4. Used to be number 2, dropped to number 7, moving back up. I think this is a guy that's probably on the list to stay, and that we'll see for good. I'm guessing he's going to stay top 5 as well because that stuff and that curveball are pretty awesome together. Coming in at number 3, moving up from number 5, Ross Stripling. He's up to almost 50 appearances now, with 40% of them in the top 25%. 3 top 100s out of those 50, which if you multiply that by 3 to get the same amount of appearances as Aldridge, you're looking at 9. So smaller sample size, but 4 good pitches. Although he doesn't have that, that one really go-to awesome pitch that Aldridge has. He has 4 pitches he can go to whenever he wants. He's got good stuff and really good control. And it's a card that's just working out for most of the people who put him out there. I bet you guys know what's coming now. 118 appearances for this guy at number 2 with 9 top 100 performances, almost a 40% top 25 percentage, a dud percentage of 11%. Zack Greinke remains at number 2. He's got a bunch of pitches, so he's one of the few pitchers on this list with 5 pitches. The changeup is his best pitch. It's unfortunate that it doesn't show up on the screenshot. I wish they could put the pitches in order. I don't know if there's a way to do that. There might be, but his changeup is his most effective pitch. And to go along with his really awesome control and his pretty awesome stuff, the movement, I've never been enamored with Greinke's movement. I've never liked his silver or his gold cards in the live cards. I don't think that the movement plays up to higher levels, but at the bronze level, you don't need it all that much because there's not a lot of guys who are going to take advantage of it that often. So I think that, if this card happened to be a silver card, there's no way this card plays in silver, but for the bronze level, it's pitching awesome and it's really good. We finally did get him a couple weeks ago and we're finally running him out there and it's working out pretty well for us. Coming to number 1, 102 appearances. The guy who evaded me forever, even though he was on my other teams. 50% of his 102 appearances are in the top 25%. 10 top 100 performances. One of only 2 guys with 10 top 100 performances. The other one, of course, being Ryan Yarbrough, who has 3 times as many appearances. Brent Suter remains number 1 for the 3rd week in a row. He has 5 good pitches. He's got awesome stuff. He's got outstanding control. This is a card that is crushing at the bronze level, and it continues to be awesome. I think I got a little bit of a dud card on my Brent Suter because he's not as good as some of the other performances I've seen every time. But overall, he's still number 1. Nobody can unseat this card right now. We talked when I was opening packs with the Unicorns. He's pitching for the Unicorns team, and he's the best pitcher on the team, even though I've got Kershaw on there. I've got a couple golds on there. Brent Suter's the guy with the best earn run average on the team. And I think, especially at lower levels, this card with his stuff and his control is really effective. This is another card you're not going to want him in your open league for very long. Once you move up to bronze, iron or bronze level, or even, God forbid you end up at silver level with a Brent Suter on your team, those hitters that can really hit guys that don't have good movement on their pitches are going to crush him. But at lower levels, this card is super duper effective right now, and really awesome in these bronze tournaments. So right now we've got Brent Suter, Ross Stripling, Doug Bird, Zack Greinke, and Ryan Yarbrough on our rotation. I know Zack Greinke's number 2. We'll talk about that in a minute. Diekman, Ossenmacher, Stammen, Suero, Perez, Romo, Petit, and Givens are rounding out our bullpen. We've got almost, I think everybody in the bullpen is on the list somewhere. So pretty close to the pitching staff that we want to be running out there based off of our list. We're looking to add Yonny Chirinos and Vic Aldridge. I really want that Vic Aldridge card to add to the collection. We'll see if we get it today. Next Thursday and Friday, we'll be going back to the silver tournaments. Let's go check in on the tournaments and see how they're going. So the bronze team is about to, looks like the silver team finally playing. Stripling, as in strip club. Got it, Lobat. Thank you. Lobat comes in and fixes my pronunciation on stuff, and I really appreciate it because I talk fast and I don't know how to. We're playing the Springfield Isotopes again. I'm tired of this team already. So I get them wrong every now and then, and so I appreciate you coming in and fixing that for me. It will be Stripling going forward. I think that'll be an easier fix for me than Nap Lajoie. You're seeing a lot of players use a starting pitcher in relief. Yes. So there are people using starting pitchers in relief. There are a lot of starting pitchers on the list. I think that what you get though, the innings pitched cut. So I use a different innings pitch cutoff because I don't want to. I try to avoid the guys who had like one appearance and shut the team out over 6 innings because I don't want that on the list. So for starting pitchers, I use 18 innings pitched as my cutoff, and for relievers, I use 10 innings pitched. And so I think you're still seeing the relievers who go lights out 1 or 2, like with the really, really low earned run averages over 10, 12, 14 innings, are still getting rated better than the starters at that level. Because for the starting pitchers, I also factor in innings per start into their calculations. So if I get a guy getting 8 innings, 7 innings per start, it's going to be rated higher than a guy who's only getting 5. On the relief side, I don't do that, so that gets totally taken out. So there's probably starting pitchers out there that are getting 2, 3, 4 innings that are being effective out of the bullpen that aren't necessarily on the list because they're letting up more runs, so their earned run averages aren't ludicrously low like some of the relief pitchers. Some of the guys like we talked about Dylan Cease a little bit. He's a starting pitcher. Dinelson LeMay is a starting pitcher who's getting used some in relief, though not as much yet. And then let's see. So on the starting pitching side, Steve Cook was on the list last time and dropped off. But for the most part, I'm seeing a lot of people at higher levels. To be honest, in the perfect team league, and then in like the historical tournaments, that's where you're seeing a lot of the starting pitchers in the bullpen, because the starting pitchers, once you get up into the diamond cards, are kind of stupid. But the bronze relief pitchers are actually really effective at the bronze level, I think. I think that outside of their stamina level, which is really low, I think that a lot of them could be effective as starting pitchers too, whereas you don't necessarily see that at the higher levels. Hopefully that answers your question. This game's simulating. We're going to watch a game real quick before we get onto the packs. I'm going to go buy the packs now, and then we'll talk. We're going to watch a game, and then we're going to talk real quick about what we're trying to get out of packs today, and then we'll open the packs, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So the bronze tournament team is currently tied 1-1. We've got one of our good pitchers going to the mound for us today, hopefully. I didn't look to see who it was. So the packs are bought. The bronze team, it looks like they're out of simulation, so we'll see if it's done simulating yet. Sorry. So this series, the third round, the quarterfinals of these tournaments, is the one that I've found is the hardest to get past, and it's the one where I'm like, man, I really want to win this round, because once you get past the third round is when you start getting rewards, instead of it just being a waste of your time. So let's see, who's on the mound? Yarbrough's on the mound for them, and we've got, I don't know, we'll find out. So we're going to score Johnny Evers here in the top of the first. This might still be game 2. It is Greinke, so this should not be game 2. This is game 3, actually. So Dewey up 1-0 here in game 3. Greinke pitching. The 1-1 pitch is crushed by Ozzie Smith. And that's gone. Ozzie Smith's hitting home runs off of me, guys. That's what I get for pumping Greinke so hard. Dom Demeter up. I did put Dom Demeter back in the lineup. Gabe Kapler at first base. The 2-0 pitch to Demeter here in the fourth. And he puts it into right field, and that's going to fall in front of the right fielder. It'll be runners on first and second with nobody out. Bringing up Ozzie Smith. Let's see if our Ozzie Smith can do the same. He will not. He'll fly out to center field. Our Ozzie Smith's an enormous disappointment. Runners remain on first and second for the top of the order. Nope, we ended up scoring 2. It didn't show us the highlights of the 2 runs, though. So the Decimals scored 2 runs that inning, but the game didn't want to show it to us. So Gabe Kapler comes up in the top of the 6th now. And he hits one to right. That's an opposite field shot. That one's deep, and that one is gone. Gabe Kapler with a solo shot to make it 4-1 for the Decimals. Greinke still pitching here in the bottom of the 6th. 2 on, 2 out, a 4-1 lead with Wally Backman at the plate. We talked about Wally Backman yesterday. And he hits a ground ball to short. That will end the inning. So Greinke gets through 6, allowing just 1 run. Continues to be fantastic pitcher here at the bronze level. Assenmacher into the game. We'll see. I just talked him up. He's a 64 rated card, and I just talked him up to all you guys. And most of you are probably rolling your eyes going, oh, this guy? How do you put this guy number 2? That one's popped up shallow center field, and that one will be a hit. Not a good start for our first look at Paul Assenmacher. That brings up Ozzie Smith. Davalillo on first. Ozzie hits it into right field. That one's going to be extra bases. Assenmacher comes into the game and makes me look like a fool right away. Second and third now with nobody out. Facing the top of the order, Roger Cedeno strikes out, but it gets away from the catcher. The throw to first, got him. That was close. 1 out now for Greg Gross. The 0-2 pitch from Assenmacher to Gross is hitting the center field. That's going to score at least 1 run. Throw comes into the infield. The runner will hold it third. But it's now a 4-2 game. Assenmacher facing Jose Martinez. Big bat. Martinez hits it in the left, and that's going to make it 4-3. And suddenly I'm feeling worse and worse about putting Assenmacher on my top 10 relief pitcher list. Still in the game, first and second, 1 out. Harvey Kuhn steps up to the plate. He hits a ground ball to the shortstop. The pitcher picks it up to throw to second. Got him. They get 1, but the tying run is 90 feet away. Trying to avoid mega meltdown. He walks BJ Surhoff. Oh, no. For those of you who were here yesterday, Frankie Gustin is the guy that I disagree with everybody on. He's not in my top 5 third baseman. He's close. He's definitely one of the 7 or 8 top third basemen, but I didn't put him on my list. Harvey Kuhn, thank you, Lobat, again. So Frankie has a chance to kind of put a dagger in us right here. So let's see what happens. It's 1-2 from Assenmacher, who I put on my list today and is getting crushed. He struck him out. Validation. My lists are validated for at least 1 pitch. That was scary. Let's see. Jake Diekman comes into the game, our closer, and the first batter he faces, he goes to a 3-1 count. And he will walk Cuccinello. That brings up Vic Davalillo, who hits it into left field, and the bullpen continues to lead hits. That brings up Ozzie Smith. Ozzie hits it on the ground to first. The throw to second for 1. The throw will not be thrown back to first. The tying run moves to third base with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Diekman will have to face the top of the order in Roger Cedeno. The 2-1 pitch to Cedeno. His hit on the ground is short. He's up with it. He will not have a play anywhere, and the game is tied. That brings up Greg Gross. Gross hits it on the ground into left field. This could win the game. The throw comes in. The play at the plate is not in time. The bullpen blows it after having a 4-run lead. A great start by Zach Greinke. The Decimals get walked off 5-4 in Game 3 and go down 2-1 in the series, as they'll face Randy Dobnak in the next game with Brent Suter on the mound. What a disappointing game. I did not know that. Thank you for that bit of trivia. Yo-Yo Davalilo. All right, so collection. We need Yankees. These are the guys we need. We are one card away from closing it out. We're one card away from Yaz. We're one card away from Robbie Cano, and we're one card away from Yogi Berra. And catcher is one of the places I need to upgrade. Although I will say that Yasmani Grandal has played pretty well for us at catcher. Currently 100 cards away from closing out the complete collection, but we're not worried about that today. We only have 38 packs. We'll bring up our sheet. The cards we're looking for. So Perfect Pedro, of course. I really want to upgrade the bullpen, guys. The bullpen's the weakest part of this team right now, I think. At least the middle of it. Even though they're showing third in ERA, we've had a lot of blown saves that I don't really like, and I don't really have that. I've got Josh Hader, who's a pretty good shutdown arm, but I'm really looking for one more really good shutdown arm for the bullpen. I'm pretty happy with the rotation. Although looks like Steve Carlton got lit up his last two performances, so 3 runs and 4 the last one. I expect Maddox to do a little bit better going forward, so we'll see. I'm pretty happy with the rotation. And then we want a shortstop or a third baseman for an upgrade there. And then, of course, we want that live Yankee to close it out. Bronze tourney cards we're looking for: Vic Aldridge, Yanni Chirinos, Gerald Williams, and Sid Bream still are evading me there. I'd really like to put that Sid Bream card in at first base. And then silver tourney cards haven't changed. Just kind of looking for them. We'll talk about them a little bit more next week. Let's go ahead and open the packs. $38 to start with today. So we'll see how it goes. We'll be back Monday with more, hopefully, but we'll see. Pack number 1. Is boring stuff. Here's our first gold. 88 rated Evan Longoria. Already a gold, 2 packs in. That's a pretty cool looking card. 61 contact, 88 power. I'm guessing this card's pretty good down in gold tournaments. It might play down there. Third baseman, high rated defense, and some power. We have the Diamond Longoria playing on the team. Tom Murphy's a guy who gets played at catcher a lot in the bronze tournaments. Didn't quite make my top 5. One of those guys who's kind of just outside of it. All right, so we're on pack number 5. I apologize for not having more packs today. I wish I had some more. I don't have a lot to quick sell anymore either. I quick sold all of the live duplicates after going through and figuring out if any of them were selling for a lot of money. So running low on what we got out of our packs. We may have to start thinking about selling something that we don't want to get more packs. But I'm pretty happy with the team. if we can get this last card today, I guess the question becomes what happens going forward. You know, what happens if I don't get to close out the Yankees today? And that's a tough decision. And if we do, what do I do going forward? Because at that point, you know, I don't need to sell anything for packs. Because if I can upgrade my catcher to Yogi Berra, this team outside of shortstop and third base is pretty close to set. And there's not a lot that I can do as far as upgrades from opening packs. So I might just have to start doing tournament stuff. And then opening the random packs when we get them. But I really like opening packs, and so I'm sure I'll figure something out. We got 30 packs left today. So I don't know. This is hopefully we get what we need today, and then we'll figure everything out going forward. So far, nothing doing. We got 2 golds of Brandon Woodruff, which is a duplicate. I've been on the Discord for Out of the Park, seeing some horror stories about these guys opening like 400 packs and getting like 2 diamonds out of them, or like 4 live diamonds, and I'm like, oh man, I kind of feel bad. There's Brent Suter. We got 2 Brent Suters on this team now. Not a single silver yet. For some reason, silvers seem like really difficult cards to pull. I don't know what's going on there, but they are. I see less silvers than I do anything else. Like I'm pretty sure I've pulled. You know, there's been times where I pulled more golds than silvers. Here's another gold. So we got 3 golds today, including Miguel Sano. Pretty good power bat. Still need 1 Yankee to close out the American League. Nice. That's how you make money. So I don't play the auction house at all, really. I just sell cards. So I sold that Ken Williams for a little bit higher than its last 7 value over Tuesday or Wednesday, which is how I had 65 packs yesterday. But I mean, if we can't get this Yankee, I have to start thinking about selling cards that aren't duplicates, like more cards that aren't duplicates. As much as I don't want to, I like having a lot of cards in the collection. But it is what it is. We have goals in mind, or I guess I should say I have goals in mind, and so I have to make decisions like that sometimes. I'm even getting a lot of good historical cards today. Seems like an unlucky day. Here's a silver. Aries Familia is not a Met that we needed. We did close out the Mets yesterday with Syndergaard, which was fun, lucrative. Larry Kopf, there's an unsung hero, 54 rated shortstop. Good defense. I like those good defensive cards at the iron level. Down to 20. So then the question for me becomes, what gets sold if I want to sell one of these cards for big money? Because all the big money cards at this point, anything over like 20,000 is in the lineup somewhere. It's on the team. So does Koufax get sold for 65? Triss and Knapp are completely off limits. They're not getting sold. I think that Stan Musial is pretty close to off limits. And so it might come down to just like for the next week, I might have to skip opening packs for a little bit for the next week and just let the team earn points over the next 6 days or so and see what happens. Or because we're not even getting diamonds today. Which unfortunately is one of the drawbacks of packs only, especially when you're free to play. Because like I'm not just gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna drop 100 on the game and see what happens. I don't make enough money for that, and my wife would kill me because I need a new lawnmower. 14 packs left, and then we'll see about quick selling some of these golds. And we'll check in on the tournament. It was right at the tail end yesterday that we started hitting some stuff. So we got Stan within our last 25 packs yesterday, and then we got the Syndergaard to close out the Mets within the last 15 or so. So you never know. You can open one pack and just hit on that dice roll. But these packs, through 25 or so of them, have been kind of gross. Here's a silver. Carlos Santana does not help. Here's a gold. Johnny Padres does not help. Pretty sure Santana's a duplicate too. Yep, definitely is. Here's a silver Luke Weaver for the Diamondbacks. That's one I get to knock off the full collection list at least. Though he does not help us with closing out these Yankees. Down to our last 8. J.A. Happ is a silver Yankee that does not help. Oh well, that's probably our silver Yankee for the day. Willie Calhoun. Oh, here's a gold Tommy Pham for the Padres. That's a new card they get to knock off the list. Rangers. Tommy Calhoun is not. That's a duplicate, so he'll get sold, or Willie Calhoun, I should say. Down to just a few packs left. Gonna have to happen soon if it's gonna happen at all today. Jeurys Familia for the Mets is a duplicate. Here's a silver Kelly Downs, historical silver. I'm pretty sure it's a duplicate. Two more packs in the initial set. Still need one Yankee. So as a reminder, the Yankees were looking for Ottavino, Tauchman, Ford, Urshela, Hicks, or Giancarlo Stanton to close out the live collection missions. All of them. Not looking good right now. One more pack. All right, let's go see what we can quick sell. Try to get just a couple more packs. A live card. Got Sano, Woodruff. Dude, how much does Familia go for? He goes for $850. We're gonna have to sell him on the auction house. Canna goes for $250. We can quick sell him, but let's put Familia on the auction house. I'm gonna quick sell these bronzes. We'll see how much Calhoun and Hap go for. I'm guessing Hap sells for pretty good. $850 per Hap. See if we can get them to sell. And Willie Calhoun goes for $350. All right, let's quick sell the rest of these. Downs is 1K. The Kelly Downs, that other card I just got. We will quick sell. Only display duplicates, MLB live cards. So this button is really scary to me. It's worked every time so far. I haven't fucked it up yet. So if any of you were here a few weeks ago, the first thing I did with the decimals was try to get into an iron tournament after the leagues started, after everything started. So let's go ahead and sell these. So we'll have 4 more packs. And so I went in, I selected all my iron cards, and I went to hit activate and promptly quick sold every iron card that the team opened in its initial 6 packs. And so this team did not get to enter iron tournaments for a little while after that. Which they paid me back by being the only one of my teams that's opened any good cards yet. So maybe I should. Here's a diamond, Fernando Tatis Jr. So we'll get at least 4 more packs out of it. That's a duplicate. Our first diamond of the day. I don't know how much he goes for. We'll check. If he goes for anything less than like 55, I just quick sell them. It's not worth an auction house spot. One more pack left in this set. And no luck. What do you go for? 45. It is not worth putting you on the auction house. So we will quick sell you. Then get 4 more packs. See what happens. Need silvers. We want to see silver backs. Man, I'm so mad at Paul Ossenmacher right now and at Jake Diekman. Devers is a duplicate, so that's 1 more pack. Although I think Devers sells pretty well. This is silver, not a Yankee. One more pack left. And no luck at all. Nothing. 742. Oriano goes for 749. See if we can sell him. Everest goes for 1,300. We quick sell all of this. Just do that. We'll get 2 more packs. Just barely 2 more packs. So last 2 packs of the day, probably, and then we'll check in on the bronze tournament team and see how they're doing, and maybe watch a game or 2. We'll see how that goes. But these are our last 2 packs. 2 Yankee. We need 1 Yankee, 1 silver Yankee, or Giancarlo Stanton. No luck in that pack. It's looking like the collection's going to have to wait till next week. Not even a silver. Whew. Rough. So 50 packs today, thereabout, we opened, and nothing that was useful to us. Check all non-live cards. Let's see. Evan Longoria goes for 2,900. See if we can get a couple packs for him. I'll look at the rest of this later. Got another extra Joe Tinker, goes for 275. So no luck on the packs today, guys. Apologies that you had to sit through that. The rest of these I will look at later. Let's check in on the tournament team. Let's check in on bronze. They're simulating right now. We'll see how their last game went. Real quick, still simulated. We're gonna hide these or open these scores. Isotopes are up 3 games to 2. Yarbrough won that game. And so heading into game 6, the Decimals have Ross Stripling going for us against, it looked like we beat Aldridge. So it's going to be Earl Wilson against Ross Stripling in this game. Check in on the silver team. We're up to 10 of 32 in that daily historical. So 5 people have joined since we came in. So sometimes they'll start filling up pretty quick once they get half full. Decimals currently going into a game 7, so we can watch the bronze team play, and then we'll watch that game. This was what, Stripling against their pitcher. Let's get into the highlights of this one, and then we'll watch game 7. Wilson against Stripling. Johnny Evers leading off for the Decimals. Do or die. Evers takes strike 3. Tough start to the game. Still top of the first. Eddie Rosario up with Jose Martinez on second. Rosario hits it into center field. Will it be enough for Martinez to score? The throw coming home. And he's safe. 1-0. Bowie takes the lead. Bottom of the first, Stripling pitching with a runner on first and 1 out. That one's hit to center field and misplayed by the center fielder. That one's extra bases. The double for Wally Backman brings up Frank Torre with 1 out. It's softly on the ground of the shortstop. That's going to get a run in. It'll be the second out, but it's 1-1. The Decimals can't hold on to the lead for very long. Still bottom of the first. BJ Surhoff steps up. The 1-0 pitch. Hit on the ground a second. He'll throw to first, but not in time. An infield single for Surhoff gives them the 2-1 lead in the bottom of the first. On to the top of the second, A.J. Pierzynski, Ryan Roberts on at second base, the 2-0 pitch. And we might have some runs in this game, folks. Roberts will score from second. It's 2-2 here in the top of the second. Still, no, bottom of the second. Roger Cedeno, first and third, 1 out. Stripling needing something to get out of this. He will not get it. That one's roped into right field on a line. The throw to third, however, oh, it's dropped by the third baseman. The runner's going to try to score. Gross. A run-scoring single and an error scores a second run, and suddenly it's 5-2 going into the top of the third for Jose Martinez. The Decimals collapsing in the second inning, but Jose Martinez pulls him to within 2. The left fielder didn't even move. Top of the fourth, the 3-2 pitch to A.J. Pierzynski. Roberts on second again. They're trying to make it happen again. Pierzynski hits it down the right field line. That's going to score a run. Roberts will score, and it's 5-4. The Decimals chipping away at that lead. Top of the fifth now. Jose Martinez on second with Eddie Rosario batting. Rosario hits it softly to first. He'll throw to the pitcher, but not in time. The Decimals get their own infield hit. And the tying run is 90 feet away with Ian Happ stepping up. 3-0 pitch to Happ. He will swing and hit it on the ground to second, and Ian Happ grounds into a double play on a 3-0 pitch. Springfield scores a run in the fifth. It's now 6-4 in the top of the seventh. There's a runner on first. It's a 2-0 pitch to Jose Martinez, who already has a home run in this game. Hits it to first. He'll pick it up, and not in time, another infield hit. Jose Martinez gets on what should have been an easy play, and that brings up Don Demeter. Runner goes, the throw down to third, he's safe. Ozzie with the stolen base. Nader will see an 0-2 pitch. Runners on the corners. Swing and miss, that's strike 3. That'll be out number 2 here in the 7th inning. Decimals down to 7 outs. Still top of the 7th. Ian Happ steps up again with a chance to score some runs and swings and misses and strikes out. You may not see Ian Happ on the next bronze tournament for the Decimals. In fact, I can almost guarantee it because I didn't know I put him on this current roster. Roberts comes up and hits one into right field with 1 out. 5 outs away from elimination are the Dewey Decimals, but Roberts gets on, and that brings up A.J. Pierzynski. Pierzynski and Roberts have been doing it all for them today, and Pierzynski will bloop this one into center field, and that one's in. Roberts will move up to third base for Gabe Kapler. 1 out, runners on the corners. Kapler bloops it into right field. That one's not going to get it done. Caught by the second baseman over the shoulder. 2 outs here in the 8th. For Dominic Brown, pinch hitting. We'll see a 2-2 pitch. And swing and miss. A nice pinch hit strikeout for Dominic Brown. And the Decimals are 3 outs away, getting eliminated from the bronze tournament. Thank you. It'll be Ozzie Smith, Jose Martinez, and Dom Demeter with the Decimals tournament lives on the line. A 2-0 pitch. He swings and crushes it into the gap in right center. They need 2 runs this inning. That one is gone. Ozzie Smith makes it a 1-run game here in the top of the 9th inning. The Decimals trying to get in off of the Springfield bullpen. Jose Martinez up next. Can they go back-to-back? They cannot. Jose Martinez grounds out to second base for out number 1. Don Demeter with 1 out. He'll see an 0-1 pitch from Alex Colomé. He swings and hits it into center field. That one's going to fall in front of the center fielder, and so the tying run is aboard for the Decimals right now with Ian Happ up. The 1-0 pitch to Happ is hit into center field, and that one's going to fall in front of the center fielder. So Ian Happ finally comes through for them. Unfortunately, not with runners in scoring position this time. Now Phil Plantier will step up with Ryan Roberts on deck and waiting. The 1-2 pitch to Plantier is swung on and hit on the ground to second. On to second for one. Cannot make the turn to first, and so the tying run moves to third base. And with 2 outs in the 9th inning, Ryan Roberts will see a 1-2 pitch. They're down to their last strike with Colomé on the mound. Roberts up. The 1-2 pitch. Roberts hits it into left field, and it's a tie game, folks. The Decimals tie the game up in the top of the 9th. And Pierzynski will come up. Roberts and Pierzynski have been coming through for the Decimals this entire game. Can Pierzynski do it again? He hits a fly ball to left. This should be playable for the left fielder, and it is, but they tie the game here in the top of the 9th. So it's going to take a walk-off for Springfield to win this game. Ari Adrianza will be up first against Jake Diekman, who's already blown 1 save and lost a game in this series. And he runs the count full and strikes him out for out number 1. Roger Cedeno will bat out number 2. Another 3-2 pitch. Jake Diekman throwing a lot of pitches to the first 2 guys. Hit back to Diekman. The throw to first will not be in time. Cedeno with a infield single. That brings up Jose Martinez. Another full count. Martinez swings and hits it on the ground to short. The throw will come across to first. I don't know if he picked off Cedeno or what, but there were 2 outs. It looks like Cedeno got picked off. And so we go to the 10th. Colomé facing Kapler. And then Dominic Brown and Ozzie Smith. The 3-2 pitch to Kapler. Taken for ball 4. Leadoff walk. Decimals trying to come back. Dominic Brown will see a 3-2 pitch. Kapler on first. Brown takes ball 4. 2 straight walks to start the inning. Colomé may be tired right now. Ozzie Smith steps up. The 1-0 pitch to Ozzie. He swings and hits it on the ground to first. He'll have only 1 play. Runners in scoring position with 1 out for Jose Martinez. He'll see a 2-2 pitch. He swings and hits it to left field. This one's back, and it is gone. Jose Martinez with his 2nd home run of the game. The Decimals take a 3-run lead in the 10th inning. We head to the bottom of the 10th. Jake Diekman still on the mound after maneuvering his way through 3 full counts in the bottom of the 9th. He'll face Wally Backman to lead it off. The 1-1 pitch to Backman is hit into the corner in left field. Not a good start to the 10th for Diekman. Backman's going to stroll into second base with a leadoff double. And he'll face Frank Torre and then B.J. Surhoff. The 1-2 pitch to Torre is hit into left field. Another base hit. Will it be enough to score the run? No. Runners will be on the corners with nobody out. Diekman laboring here in the bottom of the 10th. Petit comes into the game. B.J. Surhoff batting the 2-1 pitch to Surhoff. Hit on the ground to first. Could it be 2? It's not going to be 2. They will get the out at first. 1 out. They take the sure out, and he'll face Tony Cuccinello with 1 out. The 0-2 pitch from Petit. On and hit on the ground at first. Should be out number 2. And with 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th, the Decimals 1 out away from coming from behind to force a Game 7. And it's Howie Keene stepping up to the base, right? Keene steps up to the plate. The 0-1 pitch to him. The runner on third does not matter. Just make the play. That's a fly ball to center field. The Decimals will force a Game 7. And it is currently simulating. Silver or bronze? I like the bronze team better personally. We're going to watch another bronze game. Because my silver team is just throwing together a bunch of schmucks. Decimals Isotopes, Game 7. It'll be Doug Bird on the mound for the Decimals. starting the game off against Roger Cedeno. He gets Cedeno to ground out to first. Bottom of the first, on the mound for Springfield is Teddy Higuera. He's going to face Ryan Roberts right now with a 3-2 pitch. And runners on first and second. That's a hit in right field. Surhoff scores. There's 1-0 Dewey in the first inning. Sorry. My wife gave me a Starburst, and now it's stuck in my face. The 2-2 pitch to Rick Miller with runners on first and third. Springfield once again trying to come right back. And that one is crushed to right field. Caught by the right fielder, though. The runner will tag and will score, and it's 1-1 here in the top of the second. We move on to the bottom of the fourth. Ian Happ in the lineup again. Phil Plantier on first, nobody out. Happ hits it on the ground to third. Throw to second is one. On to first, and Ian Happ grounds into another double play. And the out-of-the-park servers really just enjoy showing me Ian Happ double plays right now. Top of the sixth, Greg Gross up. Bird still on the mound, and Gross will hit one into the gap in right center field. That one's going to be extra bases. Gross coming up to second. Will he think about three? He will not. He's going to stand up with a double to lead off the sixth. That'll bring up Phil Plantier with one out. The 1-0 pitch to Plantier is hit on the ground at first. That's going to get the runner to third base. Oh, shoot. That's bottom of the sixth. Sorry. That's our guys. Roberts moves to third with 2 outs, and that's going to bring up Ian Happ again. Let's see what he does this time. This time, Ian Happ lines it to left, and it's caught. Go figure. I don't know why they enjoy showing me Ian Happ getting out so much. Top of the seventh, runner on first, Ossenmacher into the game. We watched him blow game 3, and right now, things are not looking good here in game 7. The runner will attempt to get to third and will. There's runners on first and third with 1 out. Here in the top of the seventh, Wander Suero comes in, trying to clean up Paul Ossenmacher's mess. The 1-0 pitch to Ozzie Smith is lined in the left field corner, and Suero cannot keep the inherited runners from scoring. The throw is going to come in. 1 run is in. Smith into second with a double to throw home. 2 runs will score. It's 3-1 Springfield in the top of the seventh, and once again the Decimals are on the ropes. Still top of the seventh. Runners on first and third now. Springfield looking to put up a big number. It's a ground ball to short, on a second for 1 and a first. Suero gets out of it with less. Well, he doesn't get charged any runs, at least. Top of the eighth, Sergio Romo on to face BJ Surhoff with 2 outs. Surhoff hits it to third, but he's not going to have any play. Surhoff makes it with an infield hit. The 2-1 pitch to Gustine as Surhoff steals second. That one's hit up the middle and should score a run. Surhoff is around third. No, Surhoff holds up at third. First and third now. They do not score. Bottom of the eighth. Decimals down their last 6 outs. BJ Surhoff will lead off. Hit it to third, past the third baseman. That one's going to be at least a single. Surhoff comes into second base. It's a leadoff double. Decimals try to chip away at that 3-1 lead after a great start by their pitcher. Jose Martinez steps up with a runner on second. The 2-2 pitch to Martinez. He swings through it for strike 3. That brings up Eddie Rosario. The 1-1 pitch to Rosario is hit to the first baseman. Surhoff will move up to third, but that's out number 2. Decimals down to their last 4 outs now. Brian Roberts steps up with a runner on third. Roberts has been a hero, and he hits one into the gap in left field, and that's going to score a run. Roberts rounds first, heading into second. And he's going to try to get to third. It's a 2-out triple, run-scoring triple for Ryan Roberts as he continues to prove why he's better than Frankie Gustine. And Phil Plantier will be up next, and he's going to see a 3-1 pitch with Ian Happ on deck. The 3-1 pitch to Phil Plantier is hit on the ground, fielded by the first baseman. They get the out, but the Decimals push one across. And it's 3-2 going into the ninth. Top of the ninth, Greinke comes on to pitch. Uh-oh. The Decimals know they need this. 2-2 pitch, swung on a hit to left. And a leadoff single off of Greinke. He'll face Roger Cedeno. The 2-0 pitch to Cedeno is hitting the center, and that's going to be a single. Somehow, though, Greinke got out of it. I should have watched the full replay of this. That was interesting. Ian Happ, Gabe Kapler, and Ozzie Smith. The bottom of the order, down by 1 in Game 7. A pack is on the line here, folks. The winner moves on to the semifinals. The loser is out. The semifinals mean you get at least 1 pack. Ian Happ leading off with 1 strike on him. Swings and hits one, and finally Ian Happ comes through. It's into the right field corner. Happ rounds first and heads into second base. And will hold up there with a leadoff double. That will bring up Dominic Brown, who's pinch hitting for... Is it Kapler? Dominic Brown pinch hitting for Gabe Kapler. The 0-1 pitch. Brown hits one to center field. Is it deep enough for the runner to tag? The runner is tagging. The throw to third will not be in time. Ian Happ is 90 feet away from tying this game. Wally Backman will pinch hit for Ozzie Smith. And we'll see an 0-1 pitch. The tying run on third. The infield is in. Backman swings and hits it between first and second. We have a tie game in the bottom of the ninth inning. A pinch hit single for Wally Backman. Makes it 3-3. With the top of the order coming up, Johnny Evers, who is ice cold right now. We'll see a 3-1 pitch from Phil Maton. And he will swing and hit it softly on the ground to short. The throw to second for 1. They will not be able to turn the double play. Johnny Evers is just too fast. We move on to the 10th, though. Tied at 3. Tony Cuccinella will lead off. Greinke remains in the game. The 2-2 pitch to Cuccinello. Swung on and missed. Greinke fires it past him. Still top of the 10th. Greinke pitches to... Oh, Stammen comes into the game. Sorry. The 1-2 pitch. Gets Adrianza out, and the Decimals have a chance to walk it off in the bottom of the 10th. They'll have Surhoff, Martinez, Rosario, and Roberts if anybody gets on. The big part of their order. DJ Surhoff will lead it off. The 1-0 pitch. He swings and hits it up the middle and into center field. Surhoff is on with a leadoff hit. Martinez will see a 2-0 pitch with Surhoff on first. Martinez hits it into right field, and the Decimals are looking to get something going. Surhoff trying to get to third, pressing his luck. The throw, he is safe at third. Runners on first and third. The winning run 90 feet away. Nobody out. The infield will come in. Eddie Rosario with a chance to walk it off for the Decimals. And he will! The Decimals win Game 7. They're on to the semifinals. They're guaranteed at least 1 pack out of this tournament. Come from behind in the 9th inning of Game 6. Come from behind in the 9th inning of Game 7. Never say die. And all of my cards are selling too. Maybe the luck is turning. They'll play the Carroll City Nordiques in the next round. Never easy with this team. That was fun. Check in on the silver team and see how they're doing. They won Game 7 by a score of 5-4. They scored all their runs in the 6th, so not quite as exciting, but still a win. Maybe some packs today. They're down 1-0 in their quarterfinals right now, and they'll have Turk Farrell and then Kyle Hendricks going to the mound. Not in love with my team right now. It's really just a team that got thrown together. We're looking at, what do we have? 2,823 perfect points. See how the bronze team did in their first game, and then maybe open a couple more packs. They lose game 1. The bullpen. Oh no. They just got tired, it looks like. 13 runs in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, and the offense got nothing going. So let's check the box score of this one out. It was all bullpen. I think this was kind of one of those games that the team, BJ Surhoff pitched. Because we had to use Greinke in game 7, so we had no pitchers, no starting pitchers that we could throw. So we used the entire bullpen. So now I can't imagine what this bullpen looks like right now. Oh, that's terrible. We might have to sacrifice the first 2 games of this series just to have a chance. Maybe Suter will pitch us a complete game. Let's see if we have 5 cards we can quick sell to get us 3 packs. We'll open 3 more packs. Check in on the decimals. 65 and 52, so they've dropped to 12.5 out of the division because Washington keeps on winning, but Atlanta's dropped off. We're now 5.5 ahead of Atlanta. And so we're now a half game out of the second wild card. Yeah, that bullpen is gross right now. See, so we just played all 3 against Washington. We went 1 and 2. So the division is gone. We're not going to win the division. We're going to have to beat up on some of these lesser teams to get the wild card. It's going to come right down to the wire, I think. The other teams that we're seeing next to the decimals in the wild card are pretty good too. So the Cajun Heartland, Ichiro, Cano, Acuna, McGuire, and Bagwell are just terrifying. With Berra batting behind them, Duke, Snyder, Lindor. That's a decent lineup. I think mine's a little bit more well-rounded probably, but really good kind of middle of the order here. And then their pitching staff with Verlander. Not in love with Verlander, but he's got the special edition Maddox, the Carlton, similar. I think we have the advantage here because of Koufax, because Koufax is a stud. And then we've got, I gotta be honest, I think Garrett Cole is just a little bit better than Verlander. So let's see, in the bullpen, really similar. His Eddie Plank's getting lit up this year too. Well, only 3 games, but the bullpen, I think I have maybe a little bit of an advantage in the bullpen, but that's kind of pretty similar team. I don't think we're guaranteed the wild card at all right now. Chevy Chase, Coopers, Ichiro, Kiner, Bagwell, Yaz, and Berra. So you can see the decimals are not the only team going for these collection missions. And so we end up with some similar teams. Judy Johnson, 78 rated third baseman from the Negro Leagues. That's a cool looking card. Good defense there at third base. He has the special edition Greg Maddux, as well as the special edition Randy Johnson, as well as the special edition Bert Blyleven. Lots of collection stuff here. He's got Carlton in his bullpen, which is an interesting move. I don't think it's wrong necessarily. I think that card with that stuff plays pretty well out of the bullpen. And then he's only got a 7-man bullpen, so he's got extra hitters on his team too. So, and then let's see who's tied with us. The Texas Crawfish, Ichiro, Gary Templeton, Yaz, Bagwell, Berra, Cano, Winfield, Andrelton Simmons. A lot of pretty similar teams here. I don't like it's. We're not gonna run away with this. And then you got our old friends, the WallStreetWindow.com guys, right behind us. They've got Fritch batting second now. Yastrzemski, Berra, Bagwell, Marcus Semien. I think that, well, they might actually have a pretty comparable rotation in Icebox, and Deacon Phillip are both pretty awesome cards. And in his bullpen, yeah, these are some pretty well matched up teams. We're going to have to beat up on the teams that we're supposed to beat. We're going to have to beat up on the teams in the lower half of the league if we want to be able to do this. Live cards, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be close. I think we're going to get just enough. We got 3 more packs. 3 more packs. I think we become the favorites if we get Yogi Berra. I think catcher is our weakest link right now. So if we can get this Yankee, I think that the Decimals become the favorites for the wild card. There's a silver Willie Montañez. And our last pack of the day. Nothing. Hiding scores. See where the bronze guys are at. They're simulating right now. Silver team just finished a game. Up to 12 on this daily historical. Hope I get to watch this tonight. Let's check. Let's go over my roster for this one real quick, because this is a pretty cool roster. Not gonna lie. There's probably some better teams out there because, you know, people are able to put together really good teams. But we got Knapp, Stan, and Bagwell, and Tris Speaker 1 through 4, which is kind of awesome. Kiner behind them again. Yogi Berra would really round out this lineup, I think. Evan Longoria and shortstop and third base are pretty weak too. Maddox, Koufax, Carlton, Johnson, Blyleven in the rotation. Gene Garber closing. Lyons, Nathan, Tommy John. This is a pretty cool team. We'll see how they do in this tournament. But I think it'll be fun. I think there's going to be a lot of cool, pretty good games in that tournament. Let's check in on the bronze team. So down 1-0. They send Brent Suter to the mound, their ace, the guy they fought so hard to get, who I just quick sold the duplicate of, even though it's worth money because I was impatient. But it happens. Suter will start the game off against Scott Spezio, who you may recognize from my top 5 lists yesterday. We need a big, big game from Suter because I don't think we can count on the bullpen getting anybody out today. Or we need a whole lot of runs. His lineup is Spezio, Jose Martinez, Kapler, Marrero, Mike Yastrzemski, Gustine, Kunkel, Jeff Kunkel, Serid, and Ozzie Smith. Ian Happ will step up. Ian Happ went from GOAT to hero and continues to hit now. All of a sudden, Ian Happ's on a hot streak with a 2-run double here in the bottom of the first, and the Decimals take a 2-0 lead. Three-0 lead as Ian Happ ends up scoring. Don Demeter in the bottom of the first. 2 outs. Don Demeter up. The 3-1 pitch. Demeter crushes it into the gap in left center field. A 6 spot in the first inning for the Decimals, and that's what this bullpen needed. As it will now be up to Brent Suter. who is cruising through 5 innings, just 3 hits allowed so far. Don Demeter will come up again with a 7-0 lead in the bottom of the 5th. Kapler on first, Dominic Brown on second, Demeter facing a 2-2 pitch, and he'll put that one into the right field corner. Don Demeter is having himself a huge game. The Decimals bullpen needed it, and they got exactly what they needed from Brent Suter in this offense through 5 innings. 9-0 now in the 5th. Move on to the top of the 7th. Brent Suter still in the game. Runner on first is Kunkel. And that one's hit to deep left. That's going to be a 2-run home run, but it's 9-2 now. And into the top of the 9th. They've come back to make it 9-5. It's a 3-1 pitch to Jose Martinez from Yusmeiro Petit. And the bullpen trying not to let this one get away from them, but that's a drive to left field. And that's going to make it 9-6. It's a little bit scarier here. That'll bring up Gabe Kapler. The 1-1 pitch from Petit to Kapler is hit into right field. Petit can't get anybody out right now. Oof. Eli Marrero steps up. The 1-2 pitch. He hits it on the ground to third. Up with it. At third is one. On to first, and the Decimals get the victory in Game 2. Oh, that was scary. Exactly what they needed from Brent Suter, though, as they get 7 innings out of him, 2 runs. Both of them earned. Only struck out 3, but that's not what he does. His 3rd win of this tournament, and Suero can't get anybody out. Romo got out of it somehow without allowing more than the 3. And then Petit labors through the 9th, but got it done. Ian Happ batting just 169, but his 2 biggest hits have been in the last 2 games. And so the Decimals tie the series up at 1, and they only have to use 3 bullpen arms. So the bullpen's probably still looking pretty ragged. But now it's up to Ryan Yarbrough. I kind of wish it was Doug Bird going, or Greinke, but what are you going to do? Greinke will be ready not soon. It'll be Stripling tomorrow, or after Yarbrough. The Decimals are in rough shape in this series. It does not look good. Let's see how they look. The Nordiques. Much better shape, but they have a lot of pitchers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So they go 14 pitchers and 12 hitters. So maybe we can wear their lineup out a little bit if we can push the series along. And it would be Brent Suter pitching in Game 7 of this series. So we have that going for us. Silver team. Let's watch highlights of this one real quick. Then we'll get back over to the bronze. The Decimal Silver team is not as good as bronze team. They'll have Lance Lynn on the mound today. Already facing trouble in the top of the 1st. And that one's hit into right field. And that'll score 2. Decimals quickly go down 2-0. On to the bottom of the 3rd, already down 4-0. Gavin Lux with Rick Farrell on first, and Lux hits one to left. And that one will make it 4-2. So the Decimals have some offense on the board finally. Now 8-2 in the top of the 5th. Will Smith on with the bases loaded and 1 out. And the Decimal Silver team is in a lot of trouble. That'll make it 10-2. And the blowout is on. Still top of the 5th. Whew. Archie Bradley on a pitch. Trying to get it all out of their system right now. 9 runs in the 5th inning. And we're in the top of the 6th, and the bases are loaded again. Marty Kavanaugh, who is not a pitcher, by the way, is pitching here in the 6th. Good night. It's too bad that this isn't a regular perfect team game for these guys, because they'd be getting some perfect points right now. Top of the 9th, 2nd and 3rd. Kerry Alexander on. Also not a pitcher. Not their best game. Oh my god, it's still going. Just make it stop. Oof. 1-2. We're going to edit this one out of the highlights. Not good, Jim. Not good. Ron's team's simulating right now. Needing something big from Ryan Yarbrough. If they're going to get back in this series, if they're going to have any chance in this series, they need a big game from Yarbrough right here. This probably is still yesterday's game. Usually takes about 2 minutes. It is. It is Brent Suter. So we'll go ahead and exit and wait for the simulation to come through. Coach, how did you open those packs? How did those packs go? I think you said you were going to open packs today. We're going to do one last game, I think, and then we'll call it. Surely it's ready by now. Decimals will go on the road to face Carroll City in Game 3, tied 1-1. They send Ryan Yarbrough to the mound today against Willard Nixon. Evers will lead off with a bunt single. Maybe. Evers with a leadoff single in the first inning with a bunt single. Jose Martinez will bat, and he'll hit one in the gap in right center field. The Decimals looking to take a lead here in the first inning. Will Evers try to score? They're going to wave him around third. He's going to hold up. They hold him up at third. It'll be runners on second and third with just one out. Bringing up Eddie Rosario, looking to do some damage. Rosario will take ball 4. Nixon wanted nothing to do with Rosario. That'll bring up Ian Happ, who has turned from GOAT to hero the last couple games for the Decimals, but this time he will pop out with the bases loaded. Infield fly rule is on. And it'll be up to Phil Plantier to push some runs across here in the first inning. And he will pop out to the shortstop or the third baseman. They load the bases but can't score any runs. We move into the top of the 4th. Still no score. Johnny Evers up again. 0-1 pitch to him. It's hit up the middle and into center field. Demeter on second will try to score and will. And the Decimals break the scoreless tie in the 4th inning and go up 1-0. We get to the bottom of the 4th. So far, so good for Ryan Yarbrough. Just a Jose Martinez walk, no hits, but Gabe Kapler shows up with a 3-2 count to Kapler. He will take ball 4, so getting himself into a little bit of trouble here is Yarbrough. He'll have to face Eli Marrero and then Mike Yastrzemski with runners on first and second and 1 out. Marrero swings and misses for strike 3. Yarbrough is an out away from getting out of the 4th. And Yastrzemski will run the count full. And he will pop it up. And Yarbrough gets out of the 4th unscathed. Still 1-0 Dewey here through 4 innings. On to the top of the 5th. Ian Happ with 2 outs. And he swings, and that one's hit hard to right field. Ian Happ with a home run. That makes it 2-0. Doubles the Decimal lead to 2-0 here in Game 3 of the Bronze 32 semifinals. Bottom of the 5th now. Hank Severide gets their first hit, and Josh Van Meter steps up. The 1-1 pitch. Decimals still up 2-0, but Van Meter with one swing of the bat. Could it be? Nope. It lands short of the wall. Van Meter is going to come around second and try for 3. The run will score, and it's a 1-run triple for Van Meter. And it's 2-1. Still bottom of the 5th. Van Meter still on third. Jeff Kunkel at bat. The 0-1 pitch with the infield in. Craig Stammen comes on. That one's hit to right field. It's caught by the right fielder. The throw home. Will it be in time? It will not. We have a tie game here in the 5th inning. And the Decimals have to go to their bullpen early as Yarbrough wears down in the 5th. And that is a tired bullpen out there in the Decimals right field. Dom Demeter with a 3-1 pitch leading off the 6th. He'll hit it into right field for a leadoff single. That'll bring up Ozzie Smith with Demeter on first. The 2-1 pitch to Smith is hit on the ground to second. Should be 2. On to first. Double play. DJ Surhoff leading off the 7th. Still a 2-2 game. One 1-0 pitch, and Surhoff hits it back up the middle. Fielded by the second baseman. But he will not have a play. Gustine will not have a play at first base. And Surhoff is aboard. Next up is Jose Martinez here in the top of the 7th. Martinez hits it on the ground to short. Could be 2. He cannot make the play at second. The throw is on to first, and Surhoff is into scoring position. Surhoff moves up to third. Stolen base, perhaps? Eddie Rosario will face an 0-1 pitch with infield in. He swings and hits one to right. Surhoff's going to tag. The throw to the plate, and Surhoff is safe. The Decimals take a 3-2 lead here in the 7th, and it's up to the bullpen once again to hold on to this one. Ossenmacher into the game. 2 outs. The 2-2 pitch to Josh Van Meter, who already has a home run. Hits it on the ground at first. That'll be out number 3. They get Osmacher through 7. Move on to the 8th. Top of the 8th. Roberts, Demeter, and Smith this inning. Roberts softly up the middle to the shortstop. He will not have a play at first. And it's a leadoff single for Ryan Roberts. Next up is Don Demeter with 1 out. Roberts on first. Demeter swings and hits it down the line and right. That's going to fall in front of the right fielder. Roberts will hold up at second. It'll be runners on first and second with 1 out for Ozzie Smith. The 1-1 pitch to Smith. He swings and hits it up the middle, and that one is by the second baseman, Gustine. And into center field. The runner's going to try to score, but he's going to be thrown out by a mile. Bad base running by Ryan Roberts there. Would have been bases loaded and 1 out. Instead, they score no runs, and Oliver Perez will have to come in to face Jeff Kunkel, and then the top of the order here in the bottom of the 8th with just a 1-run lead. He gets him to pop up. Fielded by Jose Martinez for out number 1. The 2-0 pitch to other Jose Martinez is hit right to my Jose Martinez for out number 3, and we'll move to the 9th inning. Still 3-2 Decimals. Rosario up 1 out and a runner on first. Jose Martinez in the top of the 9th. The Decimals at bat. That one is hit softly over the head of the second baseman. We'll have runners on first and second with 1 out. Maybe first and nope. He'll hold up at second. But they do not score. Bottom of the 9th. Petit into the game. He'll face the middle of the order. Gabe Kapler, Eli Marrero, Mike Yastrzemski, and then Frankie Gustine. He'll have a 1-1 pitch to Gabe Kapler to start the inning off. Kapler hits it on the ground to third. Roberts is up with it to throw to first, and the Decimals somehow, some way, 2 outs from closing out this game. Eli Marrero steps up to face Petit. It's 1 is the pitch. And it's hit up the middle, and that'll be a 1-out single. The tying run is aboard. For Mike Yastrzemski. Carroll City trying to come back in this one after blowing a 2-0 lead. Or no, they came back once already. They already came back from 2 down, trying to come back in the 9th inning. The 2-2 pitch to Yastrzemski. He will watch strike 3. Yasmero Petit, 1 out away from getting the Decimals up 2-1 in this series. Eli Marrero on first. Frankie Gustine, one of my nemesis, hits a fly ball to center field. And it falls in front of the center fielder. 2 outs. The tying run is in scoring position. Hank Severin, who singled ahead of Van Meter back in the 5th inning. That Van Meter home run was what tied it up at 2. Trying to get Severin out, and the pitch is popped up. Should be playable. Jose Martinez is on it, and the Decimals take a 2-1 series lead here in the Bronze 32 semifinals. Even with a decimated bullpen that just went 7 games, my goodness. Next up is going to be Ross Stripling for the Decimals, who's got 39 stamina, which does not bode well for the bullpen at all. But after that, they've got Bird and Greinke, either one of who could pitch that day. Greinke will be ready. We're going to move. Well, no, let's see how this game goes, and then we'll decide whether we want to move Greinke up. We're waiting for this simulation to come through. We're going to check in on the Silver team that just got completely blown out, 21-2. This is not a Silver team that I've spent a lot of time putting together, to be honest. I just threw them together today, and in their game, let's see, they are currently down 3-1 after getting blown out again. No, they just blew them out in Game 4, so they were down 3-0. Came back 1 Game 4, 10-3. So we'll see. Not likely that they'll come back and win. The Bronze team is already in the semifinals, and they're about to play game 4. The bullpen is in shambles after a 7-game series before this. They had to throw everybody against the wall in game 1 of this series, but they got blown out. Brent Suter went 7 in game 2 to conserve the bullpen just a little bit. We got a good 5-inning performance in game 3, but the bullpen had to get used a lot, and so they're really, really tired right now. We're going to bring up the highlights of game 4. The Dewey Decimals up 2-1. Looking to put a stranglehold on this series. If they win this game, they will have Zach Greinke and their number 3, I forget his name right now. So 2 of their better pitchers going in the next 2 games. And they will have Brent Suter if this series goes to game 7. So top of the 4th right now, we pick up the action. No hits yet for Dewey. No score. Carroll City only has 2 hits so far off of Ross Stripling, who is pitching for the Decimals in this game. They really need him to go deep into this game. But Ozzie Smith is up right now with a runner on first. He'll see a 2-2 pitch and hit it on the ground to the shortstop. It's to second for 1. On to first, it's a double play, and the Decimals still have no hits. Bottom of the 4th now. Stripling facing B.J. Surhoff. A full count with 1 out. Surhoff hits it into the gap in right center field. That one's going to bounce to the wall. Surhoff's going to try for 3, and he's going to make it easily. Not even really a throw. Surhoff gets on base. He's in scoring position with 1 out, looking to give Carroll City the lead. Stripling comes back and gets Spezio out. Josh Van Meter, who tried to be a hero for Carroll City yesterday. He had the only RBIs with a 2-run home run in the 5th of game 3. We'll look to put them on the board today. And that is a home run for the 2nd game in a row for Josh Van Meter. The 4th inning this time, it gives them a 2-0 lead. And they're on. Carroll City is on the board first. On to the top of the 7th. Still no hits off of Frank Viola for the Decimals. But they're still in the game as Ross Stripling keeps them in it. It's a 2-1 pitch to Jose Martinez with Ozzie Smith on first. Martinez will get the first Decimals hit. There's going to be runners on first and second. Smith's going to try for third. It'll be runners on first and third with 1 out here in the 7th. The Decimals, no stranger to late inning heroics, coming from behind in game 6 and game 7 of their quarterfinal series. And Gabe Kapler will come up. Runners on first and third. He'll see a full count pitch, and he'll swing and put that one into right field. That's going to be the first Decimal run. Jose Martinez is going to try for third. The throw comes in, and the tying run is 90 feet away here in the 7th inning for the Decimals with 1 out in the top of the 7th. Ryan Roberts will step up. Ian Happ is on deck, looking for a miracle. Roberts swings and crushes it to deep left field. That one is back. The left fielder doesn't even move. No hit through 6 innings, and the Decimals put a 4 spot up here in the 7th to take a 4-2 lead. Oliver Perez will come on and face Josh Van Meter. And the 0-1 pitch to Van Meter here in the bottom of the 7th. From Perez. It's hit up the middle. Van Meter with another base hit. He's the only guy the last 2 games that's really been doing anything against Decimal pitching. Marrero gets on. Frankie Gustin comes on. No outs. Runners on first and second. Oliver Perez getting into trouble here in the bottom of the 7th after his team takes the lead. That one's hit to third. There's no play. The bases are loaded. An infield hit for Frankie Gustin. And Perez in a world of trouble after the offense finally gets going. But he's running on fumes here in game 4. The 2-1 pitch is popped up. Shallow right field. The second baseman going back. He makes the play. Ian Happ makes the play. Johnny Evers, makes the play. And that'll be out number 1. Just a huge out there. The infield still playing in for Ozzie Smith. The 2-1 pitch from Perez. Popped up. He gets another pop-up. Trying to get out of it. Ryan Roberts makes the play at third. 2 outs. That'll bring up Ethan Allen. Paul Ossenmacher on to face Ethan Allen here in the bottom of the 7th. The Decimals trying just to hold on. Ossenmacher with the 1-2 pitch is hit on the ground to short. Should be playable. He's up with it. The throw to second ends the inning. Bases loaded, nobody out. And the Decimals get out of it. And we move on to the top of the 8th, where Don Demeter will lead off against Vic Derensberg. He hits it to deep right center, and just like that, the Decimals have another runner in scoring position. So nothing doing for 6. And suddenly the Decimals are just hitting balls all over the place. And let's see, still top of the 8th. Demeter got up to 3rd. Pierzynski walked. It looks like we got a bunt from Evers maybe. I'm not sure how it happened, but we got runners on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Ozzie Smith at the plate for the Decimals, trying to put a stranglehold on this game, trying to take a 4-run lead, and he does. That one's hit into the left field corner. It's going to be extra bases for Ozzie Smith. That's going to make it 6-2 Decimals as Smith glides into second base with a 1-out, 2-run double here in the top of the 8th. Smith ends up scoring, so it's 7-2 Decimals. Ossenmacher's still in the game. Keep in mind, folks, that the Decimals bullpen is ravaged. There is not a rested arm in the bullpen. They had a long 7-game series. In the one before this, they got blown out in game 1. They're trying to take a 3-1 lead. They're 6 outs away. Yastrzemski gets on to lead off the bottom of the 8th. Ossenmacher facing B.J. Surhoff, who hits it shallow left field, but it's going to fall in front of the left fielder, and there's runners on 1st and 2nd. And the Nordiques are threatening here in the bottom of the 8th. Ossenmacher remaining in the game. Needs a miracle. That one's hit into left field. The runner will try to score and will, and that's going to make it 7-3. He's going to face Josh Van Meter, already with a home run and a single in this game. Had a 2-run home run yesterday. The 2-2 pitch to Van Meter. It's blooped to the left, and that's going to be trouble. The run is going to score. It's going to be 7-4. And the very, very tired Decimals bullpen is in a lot of trouble here. Sergio Romo comes on. He's going to have a 2-2 pitch. Lots of trouble brewing here in the 8th. Romo trying to get out of it. That one's hitting to right field. Should be out number 1. The play is made by the right fielder. The throw comes in and holds the runner at 3rd. Big, big out there. Frankie Gustin steps up. The 1-2 pitch. They call a balk against Sergio Romo. And it's 7-5. The 2-2 pitch to Gustin. He strikes him out for out number 2. That brings up Jeff Kunkel, number 9 hitter. The 2-1 pitch from Romo to Kunkel is hit on the ground and into left field. That's going to make it 7-6. Still bottom of the 8th. It's Ozzie Smith up to the plate. The 1-1 pitch. Craig Stammen into the game. Smith hits it into left field. A single to left, and that's going to put the tying run in scoring position. Ethan Allen comes up. The 3-1 pitch to Allen. The middle of the order. This is the number 2 hitter. The middle of the order is up next, and Allen walks. Mike Yastrzemski with the bases loaded. Already 4 runs in. Craig Stammen trying to will his team to victory. And the pitch is hit on the ground to 3rd. The throw to 1st is not in time. It's an infield hit, and the game is tied. 5 runs in the 8th inning for the Nordiques. And B.J. Surhoff comes up. Craig Stammen's still in the game as they've batted around. And more than that, and Surhoff hits it on the ground to short. He'll tag second to finally end the inning, but not before the Nordiques tie it up. And it's 7-7 going into the 9th. The Decimals offense, which has finally come to life late in the game against the Nordiques, with the Decimals bullpen on fumes. Guardado will face off against Ian Happ to lead off the 9th inning. Happ swings and hits it on the ground to third. Should be out number 1. I can't imagine the Decimals winning this game at this point. The bullpen just has nothing left. There's nobody in the bullpen that can pitch right now. Dom Demeter with 2 outs. The 0-1 pitch with Guardado pitching. And Demeter swings, and that's hitting the center field. Demeter with a 2-out single. And Pierzynski will step up next. Guardado, after his team comes from behind, and that should be out number 3. Pierzynski flies out to right. And Carroll City needs just to push 1 run across. It's Jose Martinez, Josh Van Meter, and Eli Marrero coming up to bat here against Jake Diekman. If this game goes extras, I'm not sure how we do the rest of the series anyway. Diekman gets a strikeout of Martinez. He gets the 2nd out. Marrero will step up next against Diekman. The 1-0 pitch to Marrero is hit into right field, and that's a base hit. And now the winning run is on base. And he'll face Frankie Gustin with the winning run on first. The 1-2 pitch. Bottom of the 9th, and Gustin strikes out. And we'll move on to extra innings. Wally Backman leading off. It'll be top of the order for the Decimals, so now's the time for them to try to put something together. Backman swings and hits one into shallow left center field, and that one's going to be caught by the center fielder for out number 1. And Jose Martinez against Eddie Guardado in his 2nd inning of work, and Martinez swings and misses, gets away from the catcher, but not far enough, and it'll be out number 3. At this point, it feels like just a march to losing this game, although Diekman trying to hold it together. The 2-2 pitch. Kunkel swings and misses at strike 3. He gets thrown out at first after Pierzynski drops it for out number 1. Diekman Petit now into the game for the Decimals, who struggled so much yesterday. Actually, he managed to get through a bases loaded situation yesterday. This one's hit softly back to the pitcher. Petit throws to first, and it's an infield hit. As Ethan Allen gets on with Mike Yastrzemski coming up, and the 1-0 pitch to Yastrzemski. Grounded to third, Roberts on to second, and we move to the 11th. Somehow the Decimals fighting their way through extra innings here. Gabe Kapler, Eddie Rosario, and Ian Happ here. Eddie Guardado in his 3rd inning of work. Kapler grounds out to second. This game might never end. The 2-0 pitch to Ian Happ with 2 outs. Happ swings and hits it into the gap. That's going to be extra bases for Ian Happ. He cruises into second with a 2-out double. Dominic Brown steps up. Brown struck out his last at bat against Guardado. And strikes out this time. Mero Petit still in the game. The 0-2 pitch to Surhoff is popped up to left. Should be an easy play for out number 1. Van Meter looking to be a hero for them again. Already 1 home run today. And that is a walk-off home run. Josh Van Meter, his 2nd home run of the game. 3rd home run in 2 days. They walk off in the bottom of the 11th to tie the series at 2. Go check in on game 5. That game took a while. The Decimals with no bullpen left to speak of. But they come back to Dewey. It'll be Doug Bird on the mound for the Decimals. Zach Greinke will go in game 6. Brent Suter will go in game 7. So the Decimals are lined up well for this series if they can get the performances they want out of their starters. But The bullpen is dead. Everybody is red. Everybody is gassed. Too many extra inning games. Too many 7-game series. Ethan Allen will bat against Doug Bird in the top of the first. And that one's going to be extra bases. Not what they needed early out of Doug Bird. That's going to be a 1-out triple for Ethan Allen. Surhoff still nobody out. Spezio walks. Surhoff is going to score some runs for the Nordiques. So the Decimals, who were 6 outs away from going up 3 games to none, or 3 games to 1 in this series, are now in a lot of trouble. But they get the double play. Only 2 runs score in the first, so it's not the end of the world. Now into the bottom of the second. Phil Plantier up with Ryan Roberts on first. Nobody out. Plantier swings and hits one into left. It'll be first and second with nobody out for the Decimals as they try to get on the board. Gabe Kapler steps up next. See an 0-1 pitch, and he'll swing and hit it on the ground to short. Could be 2. On to first for the double play. Move on to the bottom of the fourth. Jose Martinez up. Still 2-0. 3-2 pitch. Martinez hits it deep to left. That one is going to make it 2-1. Big home run from Jose Martinez. Bottom of the sixth now. Johnny Evers up. 2-2 pitch. Still 2-1. Evers hits it up the middle. Fielded by the second baseman, Gustin. Can't make a play on it. Sorry, Van Meter's playing second base for them today. And Evers is on. BJ Surhoff steps up now. Hits it on the ground, and that's another double play ball. Oh, they can't turn it. Surhoff makes it to first, and Jose Martinez will come up again. And he takes ball 4. First and second. 1 out now. For Eddie Rosario. They try to put more runs on the board, and Rosario hits a fly ball to left. That's not going to get it done. Surhoff tags. The throw to third is not going to happen. First and third now, bottom of the sixth. Tying runners on third for Ryan Roberts. The pitch to Roberts, he swings and pops it up. That should end the inning. And it does. We move on to the seventh, and the Decimals down 2-1. We skip ahead to the bottom of the seventh. Gabe Kapler with 1 out. Nobody on. Jim Abbott is just shutting them down so far today. Continues to shut them down. Just 5 hits, 1 run. Ozzie Smith makes an error, though. Gabe Kapler is aboard with Wally Backman and Don Demeter coming up behind him. That one is diving catch by the center fielder, making up for Ozzie Smith's error. Kapler will have to head back to third. Don Demeter up now with a runner on second, and Demeter swings and hits one into center field. That should be out number 3, and it is. The Decimals 6 outs away from going down 3 games to 2 in this series. Johnny Evers will come up in the bottom of the 8th. 2 strikes, nobody aboard. Hit a soft one at second. Should be out number 1, and it is, and the Decimals are 5 outs away. Jose Martinez steps up. The 2-0 pitch to him. Softly to short. The throw to first will be out number 3. It's going to take some 9th inning heroics for Decimals to get back into this one. And now the bullpen into the game. You could see some crooked numbers here. That one's hit softly to the second baseman. He will have no play. Evers has no play. It'll be first and second with 1 out here in the top of the 9th as they look to add to their lead. That's ball 4. So the Decimals needed their offense today. They did not get it so far. Guerrero into the game. He'll have a 1-2 pitch. On fumes, hit on the ground a second. The throw to first, he'll get out of it. The Decimals still in this game. Still just down by 1 going into the bottom of the 9th. They have done this before. It'll be Rosario, Roberts, and Plantier in the bottom of the 9th inning against Eddie Guardado, who they could not score off of in 3 innings yesterday. Guardado on fumes too. A leadoff single for Rosario. The Decimals looking for some magic. Ryan Roberts steps up, and the pitch is hitting to right field. The tying run's going to be in scoring position. Rosario's going to go for third. And the tying run is at third base here in the bottom of the 9th. The winning run is at first. Phil Plantier up. Gabe Kapler on deck. Infield is in. And the pitch is hit to right field. Is it deep enough to score the run? The throw home. He's safe. Rosario is in safely, and it's 2-2. The Decimals come from behind again to tie it up. They do not want to go to extra innings with their bullpen right now, though, so they want to win it right here. But Gabe Kapler flies out to center field. And it'll be up to Wally Backman. Ryan Roberts still second. Wally Backman looking to be the hero. Guardado. Backman swings and hits it to third. That'll be out number 3, and we are going to extra innings. It'll be Suero again for another inning of work. Get Smith to ground out to second for out number 1. Ethan Allen, the 3-0 pitch, will walk. Vizio, the 2-2 pitch, swings and hits a fly ball to left. That should be out number 2, and it is. Surhoff up with 2 outs and a runner on first. Salmon comes into the game. Surhoff swings and hits it deep to left. That one's way back. That one's off the wall. That one's going to score a run. And the decimated Decimals bullpen lets up runs again. On a BJ Surhoff triple. It'll be Demeter, and then the top of the order for the Decimals here in the bottom of the 10th in Game 6. 0-2 pitch Demeter. He swings and misses. Guardado is just mowing them down right now. This is his 6th inning of work in the last 2 games, and they just can't get to him. Ian Happ strikes out. And the 1-2 pitch to BJ Surhoff. Eddie Guardado locking it down for the Nordiques, but that one's into the gap in left center field. Surhoff with a 2-out double, keeping the Decimals' hopes alive. At some point, they bring Yasmiro Petit in. Surhoff at third base. Jose Martinez up. The 2-1 pitch to Jose Martinez. He swings and hits it into right center field, and the Decimals somehow tie it up again. Oh, man, I can't imagine their bullpen's got much left either. Eddie Rosario. The 2-2 pitch to Rosario. He swings and hits it to first. Should be out number 3. Oh. On to the 11th. Stammen still in the game facing Jose Martinez. Who hits it to left, and that's going to be a leadoff single for Jose Martinez off Craig Stammen. Kapler up. The pitch is popped up, shallow center field. On comes Demeter for out number 1. Frankie Gustine, Jose Martinez on second now. And Gustine hits it into right field. Will they put it? Will they try to score him? They will, and he will score. Ozzie Smith up now. 2 strikes, 2 outs, and Smith hits it back up the middle. And here's the fumes of the bullpen for the Decimals. Just nothing left. Ethan Allen trying to pour on some gas, but Ethan Allen will walk, and the bases are loaded now for the Nordiques. The Decimals just have nothing left in this bullpen. Spezio, the 2-2 pitch Swings and bloops it into right. Can he get there? Nope. 1 run scores. 2 runs are in. 3 runs are through in the 11th inning now. It's 6-3 Nordiques. Sergio Romo on. And that one's hit down the left field line, and that one's going to score runs. The triple for Scott Spiezio. A 5-run 11th inning now. Kapler comes on, 2 outs, and this should do it. And that will do it here in Game 5. The Nordiques, once on the verge of being down 3-1, now take a 3-2 lead. And the Decimals in a lot of trouble. They get to send Zach Greinke to the mound in Game 6, though. But at this point, you can't really expect anything out of their bullpen. Dylan Cease for the Nordiques today in Game 6 against Zach Greinke. See what happens. Top of the second, first and second. They're going to need a lot of offense today, I think. Roberts strikes out. Still top of the second. Gabe Kapler steps up. Plantier and Rosario are on base. And that one is into left field. The Decimals, will they try to score? He's going to score. Rosario scores. It's a 1-0 lead for the Decimals here in the second inning. Still top of the second. Ozzie Smith batting 9th for the Decimals. Will take ball 4. The bases are loaded. 2-0 pitch to Johnny Evers. He swings and flies out to right field. Needing a big game from Greinke. Bottom of the second, runner on first. Ground ball, could be 2. On to second, on to first, double play. Greinke gets through the second inning unscathed. So far, so good. Moving on to the top of the 5th, 2 outs. Runners on. Ozzie Smith on third with Jose Martinez up. Martinez swings and hits it back through the box, and the Decimals double their lead to 2-0. We've seen this story before, folks. It goes both ways. They let up runs in the late innings, and they score runs in the late innings, and that's just what this team does. Greinke facing Jose Martinez. It's a 3-2 pitch. On the ground is second, but he will not have a play at first. Martinez with an infield single. Still bottom of the 5th. Greinke looking for some magic. They need him to go deep. 0-2 pitch swung on and missed by Gabe Kapler. And Martinez moves up to second. Kunkel steps up and hits one down the right field line. That's going to score a run. It's going to be 2-1. Decimals still with the lead, but the Nordiques are chipping away at it. On to the bottom of the 6th. Greinke still in the game. Mike Yastrzemski up. The 1-0 pitch to Yastrzemski is going to be off the wall and left for extra bases. And it's a 1-out double for Mike Yastrzemski. Bringing up B.J. Surhoff, the 2-1 pitch to Surhoff from Greinke. It's hit on the ground to second. Should be out number 2. Yastrzemski moves to third. But now with 2 outs, Eli Marrero will come up. Greinke trying to get out of the 6th. Marrero hits it softly on the ground to second. Will Evers make the play? The throw to first? He does. Greinke through 6, exactly what they needed out of Zach Greinke today. We move on to the bottom of the 7th. Greinke still in the game, facing Gabe Kapler. Pitch is hit up the middle and into center field. It's a 1-out single for Kapler. and they're probably going to have to get into that bullpen sometime soon. Frankie Gustine steps up here in the bottom of the 7th, 1 out, runner on first. It's a ground ball to short, on to second for 1, turns it to first for the double play, and Greinke is through 7, allowing only 1 run. The Decimals want to put some runs on the board soon, but they can't. Kunkel comes up. The 1-1 pitch, Greinke into the 8th inning. On the ground to second. The play is made, and that's out number 1. Johnny Evers with a beautiful play. Greinke, the 1-2 pitch to Ethan Allen here in the bottom of the 8th. Popped up, should be out number 3. Evers is there, makes the play, and the Decimals go on to the 9th inning. Up 2-1, a masterful performance from Zach Greinke today. Gabe Kapler with 2 outs in the 9th inning off of Bruce Sutter. That one's hit to right, and it will land in front of the right fielder. Fair territory, I'm not sure. Do you mean, how do I have, like, this displayed? I honestly don't know. I think that has to do with, I think so for the cards that are, so this is a live card. I think for the players that have, well, no. That's a good question. It looks like it's kind of random, huh? I don't know the answer to your question, Fair Territory. Let's see. So it's now the bottom of the 9th. Diekman is on. Yastrzemski is on first. Surhoff is batting. A 2-2 pitch. Strikes him out. So the Decimals are 2 outs away from forcing a Game 7. The tying run is on first. Eli Marrero is up. The 1-0 pitch to Marrero is hit up the middle, and the tying run will come into scoring position. He's going to try for third. The tying run is on third base. Once again, the Decimals coming down to the wire. Jose Martinez will bat. The 1-1 pitch here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Diekman, that one's hit to center field. Demeter comes on. He will make the play. The runner will tag. The throw home will be not in time, and they're going to go to extra innings again. Well, maybe not. It depends. If they score here, the series is over. Kapler strikes out against Diekman, and we go to the 10th. Tied 2-2. The Decimals got exactly what they needed out of Greinke, but Diekman could not navigate the 9th inning. And so we are on to extra innings in Game 6. Johnny Evers hits one to deep right field. The right fielder going back will make the play. Yastrzemski, and Martinez comes up. The 3-1 pitch to Jose Martinez is taken for ball 4. Decimals trying to get something going with 2 outs as Eddie Rosario steps up. 0-1 pitch is hit into the left center field gap. Will it be enough for Martinez to score? Rosario rounds first and heads for second. Martinez rounds third and will try to score. The play at the plate. He's safe. Not in time. The Decimals take a 3-2 lead in the 10th. As Diekman will remain in the game in the bottom of the 10th and face Frankie Gustine, Jeff Kunkel, and then Ozzie Smith. Diekman did not pitch yesterday in the extra innings game. He gets the strikeout as he's trying to vulture the win here. Kunkel will bat next. The first pitch to Kunkel. Romo comes into the game. First pitch to Kunkel is a fly ball to right center field. Demeter coming over. And the Decimals once again 1 out from forcing a Game 7. Josh Van Meter steps up. The 1-0 pitch. And they cannot get Van Meter out in big situations right now. It's another extra base hit for him. And the tying run is in scoring position again, with Ethan Allen coming up. Romo. And that one's lined into right field. Van Meter trying to score and will, and we're tied up again in the 10th. As Yastrzemski steps up, the 2-0 pitch is on the ground to second base. The throw on to first is out number 3. Man, these games take as long as playing them out. Plantier in the 11th, leading off the 2-2 pitch. Craig Stammen pitching for the Nordiques. And he'll take strike 3. Dominic Brown steps up next. It's going to be Brown and then Kapler here in the 11th. And Brown crushes one to right field. Is it enough? It's over the right fielder's head. It's going to be extra bases for Dominic Brown. Will he go for 3? He's going to try for 3. The throw to third is not in time. Dominic Brown with a huge triple here in the top of the 11th. The Decimals trying to take the lead again. Kapler gets to first on a walk. Ozzie Smith steps up. The 0-1 pitch to Ozzie Smith is hit into right field, and that's going to give the Decimals the lead for the 3rd time this game. It's a 2-run triple for Ozzie Smith, and that's a 2-run lead for the Decimals. With Johnny Evers coming up. On the ground a second. The run will score. It's an infield single for Johnny Evers. And it's 6-3 Decimals, their first 3-run lead of the game. Will they be able to hold on to this one? Craig Stammen comes in, and without getting it out, has runners on first and second, and Jose Martinez coming up. It's a 4-run lead right now. It's a ground ball to second. Could be 2. Is not 2, but they get 1 out. That's all they need right now. They need to get more outs than runs allowed right now. Gabe Kapler comes up. The 0-1 pitch to Kapler. Gets away from the catcher. And that scores a run, and it's 7-4. And the 1-1 pitch to Frankie Gustin with 2 outs. Runner on third. He swings and hits a fly ball to center field. Back on it is Don Demeter. He makes the play, and somehow the Decimals force a Game 7. Saying the simulation is complete. Hope we didn't miss Game 7. We're going to watch the full replay of Game 7. I'm going to run and use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. All right, guys. We're on to Game 7. This is Game 7. Packs are on the line. Bronze, 32-team tournament, semifinals. The loser of this game gets 1 pack. We're guaranteed a pack. The winner of this game gets at least 2 and moves on to the finals. All right, I had to eat something. We're watching the full replay of this. We're going to see what happens. Brent Suter is on the mound. We could not ask for a better pitcher to be on the mound for the Decimals. We are at home. The last 3 games have gone to extra innings. Our bullpen is shot. Completely and utterly shot. Most of our hitters are tired. We're not going to win the championship if we win this game. But we get extra packs if we do. So let's get started. Game 7 of the semifinals. Brent Suter 3-1 in this tournament. Spezio will pop up to start the game off. Johnny Evers under it makes the play. for out number 1. That'll bring up Jose Martinez batting second for the Nordiques. The 0-2 pitch is also popped up. Evers under it again. If we could get all 27 guys to pop out to Evers, that would be great. Gabe Kapler will bat third for the Carroll City Nordiques. The 2-1 pitch to Kapler is hit on the ground to shortstop. Up with it is Ozzie Smith on to first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Brent Suter. The Decimals hoping Suter goes deep into this game because they have no bullpen arms left. Johnny Evers will lead off for the Decimals with Ozzie Smith batting second and Jose Martinez batting third. Against Earl Wilson. Evers tries to bunt, but misses it. We'll now face a 1-2 pitch. He takes strike 3 for the first out of the game for the Decimals. That'll bring up Ozzie Smith. The 2-2 pitch to Ozzie. It's fine to hit on the ground to second, but an easy play for the second baseman for out number 2. Batting third is Jose Martinez, having a pretty good tournament. Scored the winning run in yesterday's game. And now hits it softly to the pitcher. The throw to first will be in time. No runs, no hits, no errors for either team in the first inning. We're on to the second. Here we'll face Marrero, Yastrzemski, and Hank Severid here in the second inning. And that one is hitting to right field, and the Nordiques have the first hit of the game. That'll bring up Mike Yastrzemski. It'll be a full count, and he'll walk. Suter getting into trouble here in the second inning. He'll face Severid with runners on first and second and nobody out. And Severid crushes one to center field over the head of Don Demeter. That's going to score at least 1, maybe 2 runs. The runner holds up at third. Yastrzemski stays there. It'll be runners on second and third with nobody out here in the second inning. For Josh Van Meter. Josh Van Meter, who has been crushing the Decimals in this series. If the Nordiques win this series, I'm going to guess Josh Van Meter wins MVP. Suter on the mound to face him, though. That's a fly ball to right. Is it deep enough to score the runner? Probably. Yastrzemski tags and attempts to score and scores without a throw. It's 2-0 in favor of the Nordiques with Jeff Kunkel coming up. The 1-0 pitch is hit on the ground to short. Should be an easy play for Ozzie Smith. The throw to first is out number 2. And there Ozzie Smith comes up. And the 3-2 pitch is hitting the shallow center field. The meter coming over. We'll make the play for out number 3, but damage is done in the second inning as the Nordiques take a 2-0 lead on the Decimals. It will be Rosario, Happ, and Roberts due up here in the bottom of the second. Rosario with a leadoff single for the Decimals. They get their first hit here in the second inning. Off of Earl Wilson. Ian Happ will step up next. He'll see a 1-2 pitch. And that'll be strike 3. And Ryan Roberts will step up. He'll see a 1-2 pitch. And that will be strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Earl Wilson. With Don Demeter coming up. And that one's in the left field for a 2-out single for Don Demeter, which puts Eddie Rosario into scoring position, brings Gabe Kapler to the plate. Kapler complained before the games that he was the game that he was running on fumes, and he could have really used a shorter series, and will pop out here to end the second inning. Threat is over. 2-0 Nordiques after 2. It'll be the top of the order this inning. Scott Spezio, Jose Martinez, and Gabe Kapler facing Brent Suter. Spezio seeing a 2-0 pitch. Hits a fly ball to center field over his Demeter, making the play for out number 1. Martinez steps up and we'll see a 1-2 pitch from Brent Suter. And that's strike 3. That's Suter's first strikeout of the game. And Gabe Kapler steps up. He'll face a 2-2 pitch. And that one's back right through the box and into center field for a 2-out single. Gabe Kapler trying to get something started for the Nordiques here in the third. Suter plunks Marrero right in the back. It'll be first and second with 2 outs now as Mike Yastrzemski steps up. He singled last inning, or walked last inning, I should say. The 1-2 pitch, Suter strikes him out. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Suter. Sorry, 2 strikeouts in the inning for Suter. And he gets through the third unscathed. We move on to the bottom of the third, and it'll be Pierzynski and then the top of the order for the Dewey Decimals. Pierzynski's going to see an 0-2 pitch. Hit it softly on the ground between the pitcher and the second baseman. The throw to first will be out number 1. Johnny Evers will step up next. He swings and hits it right up the middle. It's a 1-out single for Johnny Evers. We'll see if he tries to get something going here. Ozzie Smith will bat next. Johnny Evers does steal bases for this team, and he's going. It's a pitch out. The throw down to second. Evers is out by a long shot. Just a bad time for that to happen. Ozzie Smith will now see a 2-0 pitch and hit it softly to the first baseman, who will tag first for out number 3. That ends the third inning. Evers thrown out at second is the only base runner, and we move on to the fourth with a 2-0 lead here in Game 7 for the Carroll City Nordiques. Batting first is Hank Severed, who put them on the board with a double in the second inning, and it grounds out to the shortstop. A great play at short by Ozzie Smith here. Throws him out at first for out number 1. Brent Suter looks over and says, "Thank you, Wizard." Josh Van Meter steps up next. The 1-2 pitch to Van Meter. That one's back up the middle, and Van Meter has another hit in this series. Kunkel swings and hits it into right field, and that one is in front of the right fielder. And it's going to be runners on first and second. Brent Suter running into some trouble here in the top of the fourth, just trying to keep his team in it. The Decimals, no strangers to late inning comebacks. That one's grounded to short, on to second for 1, on to first. That's a double play. Beautiful play by the Decimals middle infield, and we're on to the bottom of the fourth. Still 2-0. It'll be the middle of the order. Jose Martinez, Eddie Rosario, and Ian Happ this inning, trying to get something going for the Decimals. They've had nothing so far. Martinez strikes out for the second time today. Rosario will see a 1-2 pitch from Earl Wilson. He swings and hits it softly back to the second baseman. That'll be out number 2. Ian Happ will step up. The 1-0 pitch is popped up behind first base. Foul territory. Dropped by the first baseman. That's an error for Scott Spezio. We'll see if Ian Happ can take advantage of it. The 2-2 pitch, strike 3. Nothing hurt by the error except for Earl Wilson's pitch count. We'll see if that comes back to bite him later in the game. But for now, it remains 2-0 in favor of the Carroll City Nordiques. It'll be the top of their order up this inning for the Nordiques as they continue to face Brent Suter, who's pitched around some trouble. Strikes out Spezio to start off the 5th. Jose Martinez will step up next. That one's hit on the ground, back to Johnny Evers. That's out number 2. Brent Suter trying to settle in. He'll face Gabe Kapler now with a 1-1 pitch, and that one's hit into the gap in left center field, and Gabe Kapler's got extra bases here. The throw comes in. Kapler will slide into second base with an easy 2-out double. Next up is going to be Eli Marrero. Sutter's going to have a 1-2 pitch on him. Gabe Kapler on second in scoring position, trying to give his team a 3-run cushion. That one's popped up, though. Suter under it. Nope. Martinez calling him off. Nope. Johnny Evers calls him off and makes out number 3. Here in the top of the 5th. We move on to the bottom of the 5th. The Decimals will send Ryan Roberts, Don Demeter, and Gabe Kapler. 3 guys who have put on some heroics for the team in this tournament already, especially Ryan Roberts. 3-1 pitch. He'll take ball 4. That's their first base runner since the 3rd inning. Don Demeter will step up next. Throw over to first. Roberts gets back safely. Wilson does not want to see Roberts running with a second throw over. Now the pitch, and that one's hit down the right field line. The right fielder gliding over, Yastrzemski picks it up and makes the play and throws it in to the second baseman. Runner holds it first. Kapler will bat next. Ryan Roberts taking the lead over there at first base. Throw to over, and Roberts dives back safe again. That's 4 throws over to first base since he's been on there. The 2-0 pitch. Kapler hits that one to right, and that one is caught by Yastrzemski as well. So Roberts getting Wilson's attention just a little bit, but not enough to help his teammates out at all yet. Pierzynski will see a 1-1 pitch. He will bloop it into shallow right field. That's going to be a 2-out single. Roberts is going to round second, but hold up there. Runner in scoring position for Johnny Evers, who's already 0 for 2 today. And we'll see a 1-2 pitch. Swing and hit it softly to the shortstop. The throw on to first will be out number 3, and Earl Wilson gets through 5. No score for the Decimals, still 2-0 in favor of the Nordiques. Brent Suter remains on the mound for the Decimals. He's going to be out there as long as his arm stays on, probably. He'll face Yastrzemski first, and he ropes one into center field. A diving play by Don Demeter to keep him off the base paths, and another one that Brent Suter has to point to his teammate and say thank you. Sorry, that was Gabe Kapler in center field. Hank Severid will bat next, and then Josh Van Meter will be after him. Severid hits a fly ball to right, should be an easy play. Ian Happ makes the play for out number 2. Josh Van Meter steps up again. No shortage of heroics from him in this series. This time, though, he grounds it to Ozzie Smith at short. The throw to first, a diving play by Smith, and he throws on to first for the out. For out number 3. Suter is through 6, allowing only the 2 runs back in the second inning. So you can't ask for much more than that out of your pitcher, and it's time for the offense to get going. It'll be Ozzie Smith, Jose Martinez, and Eddie Rosario here in the bottom of the 6th for the Decimals. Time is running short as Ozzie Smith strikes out for out number 1. Jose Martinez will bat next. He's going to see an 0-2 pitch from Earl Wilson. And he's going to look at strike 3. So Wilson looking to strike out this side, but he will not, as Eddie Rosario faces a 1-0 pitch. Rosario pops it up, and so he gets through the heart of the order with no damage, and Wilson continues to cruise here in Game 7. And the Decimals are 9 outs away from elimination again. And they have to go to their bullpen. Wander Suero comes into the game. So far, a .519 earned run average in the tournament. Jeff Kunkel will lead off the 0-2 pitch. He gets him for strike 3. You can almost see Suero falling asleep already with the amount of innings his bullpen has pitched over the last 21 days. 3 straight series going to Game 7. He's going to face Ozzie Smith. And a 2-1 pitch to Smith. He hit on the ground, back to the pitcher. He's up with it. The throw to first is out number 2. As he will face Scott Spiezio now. The 3-1 pitch to Spiezio is taken for ball 4 for Jose Martinez, the big bat in the lineup, but he gets him to hit it on the ground to Evers at second, and that's out number 3. The Decimals come to the plate after the 7th inning stretch, trying to get on the board here late in the game. They'll send Ian Happ, Ryan Roberts, and Don Demeter to the plate for them. If anybody gets on, it'll be Gabe Kapler and Pierzynski. But they only have 9 outs to do something here. It'll be a 2-0 pitch to Happ, who pops it up. Third baseman is under it. The shortstop calling for it. Played by Van Meter at third base, and there's 1 out. Ryan Roberts steps up and will face Earl Wilson with a 2-2 pitch. And swing and miss at strike 3. And Don Demeter will face a 2-2 pitch from Earl Wilson. He swings and hits it the other way to right field, but it's right at Mike Yastrzemski. That's 3 balls this game that have been roped to right field, right at Yastrzemski. Through 7, the Decimals have put nothing on the board. It's up to the bullpen now. Try and keep it a 2-run game. Paul Ossenmacher in to pitch to Gabe Kapler, Eli Marrero, and Mike Yastrzemski, the heart of the order. Ossenmacher with a 12.66 earned run average in the tournament coming into today. And that one is hit down the line and right. Could be extra bases. Up with it is Happ. The throw to second will not be in time. It's a leadoff double for Gabe Kapler. That'll bring up Eli Marrero. The pitch out. Oh, no, they intentionally walked Marrero. That'll bring up Mike Yastrzemski. The 0-2 pitch to Yastrzemski. Swung on and missed. For out number 1. Still runners on first and second. 1 out now for Hank Severid, who drove in the 2 runs back in the second inning. The only 2 runs of the game so far. Severid grounds out, but the runners move up, and so some insurance is 90 feet away for Josh Van Meter. And Van Meter takes ball 4. That's a walk. And just because we're going to go ahead and see a 3-0 pitch to Jeff Kunkel, and that's ball 4. Ossenmacher is going to walk in a run, and it's 3-0 in favor of the Nordiques now, and things are looking mighty grim for the Dewey Decimals. He gets, who's up now? Well, in any case, Evers makes the play, but the Nordiques extend their lead to 3-0, and the Decimals are 6 outs away, once again, from being knocked out of the tournament. They were 6 outs away, down 2 in Game 7 of the round before this, so this series is not over yet by any means, but Earl Wilson is still on the mound, still continuing to mow guys down. Just 4 hits on the game so far. Gabe Kapler will lead off. And he will swing and hit it softly to the shortstop. Smith is up with it. The throw to first is an easy play for out number 1. Next up is going to be A.J. Pierzynski. The 1-1 pitch to Pierzynski. As Derensburg comes into the game, Pierzynski hits it down the line and right. The throw comes in, and Pierzynski with a 1-out double off of Vic Derensburg here in the bottom of the 8th will bring the top of the order up in Johnny Evers. And the 1-2 pitch from Derensburg to Evers will be taken for strike 3. Not a great game for Johnny Evers today, as Ozzie Smith will see an 0-2 pitch and hit it back up the middle. That one's going to be a diving catch by the center fielder, Gabe Kapler. An unbelievable catch to preserve the 3-0 lead. And it'll be Oliver Perez trying to keep the game close here in the top of the 9th. That one's hit on the ground. Smith up with it to throw to first for out number 1. The 1-1 pitch to Jose Martinez. Here's a fly ball to right. Should be easy for Ian Happ. Out number 2. Oliver Perez trying to navigate through the 9th. And he will strike out Gabe Kapler, who just made that catch in center field. And the Decimals go to the bottom of the 9th inning looking for a miracle. It will be the good part of the order to try to get one. Jose Martinez, Eddie Rosario, and Ian Happ. If anybody gets on, Ryan Roberts will step to the plate. The 2-0 pitch to Jose Martinez is popped up. Should be an easy play for the first baseman. It is for out number 1. Scott Spezio makes the play. Eddie Rosario steps up. He'll see a 1-0 pitch. And that one's hit high to right center field, but should be an easy play. Much easier than the play Kapler had to make in the 8th. And the Decimals are down to their last out with Ian Happ at the plate. The 1-1 pitch, and Happ hits one to left. That one's back, and that one is gone. It'll cut the lead to 3-1. The Decimals still on the ropes, but at least they didn't get shut out. Ryan Roberts will step up to the plate, facing Hansel Robles. And Roberts swings and hits one on the ground to short. Ozzie Smith is up with it. Game 7 is in the books, folks. The Dewey Decimals have been eliminated in the semifinals of this tournament. It'll be one pack for them as the Carroll City Nordiques move on to the finals. Oh well. That series kicked our ass. Because they played, let's see. Oh, they played 7-game series too, so we don't have any excuses. Our bullpen was tired though. They're going to face a team that is well rested. We'll see how they do. But I'm going to call that, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. That was a lot of fun. It went on a little bit longer than I had planned on. We got into that tournament and just kind of kept going. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. We'll be back Monday, and we'll see you then. We'll have hopefully a few packs. We'll go over the 2025 season in review and see how the Maine Decimals team did and see how we do in some tournaments over the weekend. And then next Thursday and Friday, I'll be back with the silver pitchers and batters in no particular order. Definitely not in that order. So again, thank you, folks. Have a great weekend. Have a great night. And we'll see you guys next week.